Welcome everyone to live stream reviews from StreamYard. My name is Christian Karasiewicz. I'm the content marketing manager at StreamYard, and I'm really excited to have you all join us again for yet another episode of live stream reviews, where basically we want to hear from you. We want to bring you on stage. We want to talk about your live show, and we want to talk about, maybe it's the title of your show, if you're trying to come up with a hashtag, what your show concept is about, how you're marketing your live stream, what size audience you're getting. For example, how many people are tuning in? Do you have a community? So this show is all about you. So I'm going to go and bring on my co-host, Leticia Campbell, and we're going to get started. Leticia, it's great having you back.
Hey, guys. Hey, Christian. How you doing?
So this is I'm good. This is very good. This is going to be a really good, a good show.
Yes, it is.
I'm excited about all the topics we're going to talk about. So, I want to hear where everyone's tuning in from. And I know you and I talked beforehand. We had a question that we wanted to pose to our audience. So I don't know if you have time to actually, maybe go over that. Like, what was that question we were asking about?
Well, I was talking about, I feel like this would be a great topic for today. As you guys are rolling on in onto the panel, addition or distraction. So last week, the past couple of episodes, a lot of you guys have been asking questions about green screens and overlays and all these different things. And, really asking yourself this question: is all these things, all these features, is it an actual addition to your show? Like, does it add to your content? Does it add to your branding, your overall aesthetic? Or is it an actual distraction? Because a lot of times, as us being content creators, as we're adding on other features onto our streams, it can be a distraction because we become more focused on that than our actual content. So we would love you guys to hop on the panel and talk about any questions that you have about your current show and how you can just boost up the experience so that way your overall content can be at its best.
Definitely. Yeah. And with that, we want you, when we bring you on, so if you have questions, for example, we want you to, let me actually pull up my banner here real quick, by the way. So if you have a question, we want you to use hashtag ask.
Yes.
Put that in the comments. That's the first step. Second thing is, if you have a feature request, we want you to put hashtag feature in your comment. Again, I'm going to be doing these literally in real time. So as you give me a feature request, I'm going to be trying to capture as many of them as I possibly can. In addition to that, though, when we bring you backstage, we have a private chat. If you can just drop your name, what company you're with, and then what your question is, and we'll take 1 to 2 of your questions. And then if we have a lot of people come on, we'll move on to them, and then we'll recycle people if they have other questions.
Yep.
So leave your comments, leave your questions in the comments, and let's get started.
That's right. Let's jump into it. So, can I talk a little bit about my first experience, live streaming period? I mean, when I first started using StreamYard, I can't remember the exact date that I actually went on and purchased. I started off like everyone. I started off at the free account because obviously if you've been streaming for a long time, there's always other platforms that you try. But when I ventured over to StreamYard, what I love about StreamYard is that, going live is more than just about delivering on what we're saying. It's about getting you guys to engage, having you guys hop on and we have an actual conversation. But, when we talk about all these other features, like with green screening, overlays and things like that, I'm so heavy on content that everything else beyond that is just so secondary. And I feel like a lot of times, and I also have a private group where I polled this question, a lot of people don't get started until they get the overlays, the green screens, the mics, the this and that. And so you go through months having an account, paying for it and not even using it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're waiting for all these features, and that really, I'm just gonna be honest, that really, makes me sad. It just really does. I'm like, you have so much to say. Get out there and just hit the go live button and build on what you're doing. Yeah.
And I know we talk about this a lot, by the way, about people getting their overlays ready, for example, or having that intro video or that outro video. You do not need all of that. I'll tell you, like when I first started using StreamYard, this is before I actually started working at StreamYard. I use StreamYard primarily because I was traveling around the world a lot, and I was in all these different locations where I had really good internet in some, and I had really poor internet in others, and it worked. And I had tried a bunch of other software as well. Spent quite a bit of money on what I said, oh, well, hey, if I pay a lot of money for something, I should get, a better product. And it was not worth it because I needed a new laptop. I needed, a much better internet. If I was in a hotel, for example, you couldn't actually, hotels usually will throttle the internet. So I was running all these issues, but I was like, StreamYard, it worked. And it didn't matter where I was at. So I was in some pretty good locations with good internet, and then other places that just, the internet wasn't going to cut it. And somehow it worked, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't have, I didn't start out with the overlays and the intro videos. I built on that as well. I started with, maybe I put an intro video in, maybe that was like one of the I started with a graphic, an intro graphic. And then I said, okay, this is good. And then I was like, okay, after each show, I would watch my show and I get to the end. And the one thing I noticed would be like, at the end, there was always that, like, how do I make this a clean transition at the end? And so then I said, okay, well, I'll have an outro graphic, a static graphic, and I'll put that up. So then when I put that up, I was like, okay, that kind of helps. But then I got into the habit, after I did that for a while, I said, okay, let me do an intro video, and then I need an outro video. So I have all of that stuff, but I didn't just put it all out there at once.
Exactly. Same thing with me. Like in the beginning, especially after I left my job, like people loved watching me in other countries. So right after I left my job, I traveled to Bali. I went to different places. So they liked the fact that I would be in the airport going live, know, and you're right about, for me, it was really about the quality of the internet. Cause that's the one thing that would frustrate me if the internet quality wasn't good, especially at the airport. It's like, you're not going to really get good quality. No. But for me, that is like, what is your overall experience that you want to convey to your audience, and how are you going to entertain them too at the same time? Like, that's what's really important. So again, going back to what I was saying, is it an addition to your message, what you want to convey, or is it a distraction? That's what you always got to ask yourself. But we would love for you guys to come on and give us your questions about your show. Like, let us know what your questions that you have on how you want us to help you make your shows better.
Yeah, and so good to see so many of our StreamYard friends. We've got NLTMW joining us again. We see NLTMW on quite a bit. Great person to connect with, by the way. They have a lot of really good information. They're always dropping a lot of value. Yeah. We've also got Living with MS in Tenerife. I know he was on. He was talking about how he was trying to, I think, use an iPad for his stream, and he was outdoors.
Oh,
so
yeah.
No problems with lighting, but he had, obviously have to deal with the tech side of things. He was in a different location. What else we got? So Sherry, I think you're saying, I think it's Sherry or Sherry. I'm not sure exactly, but you have a question. You said you only have about 20 tuning in. Do me a favor. I put the link to join us backstage. If you could join us, we'd love to learn more about your show and bring you on.
That's right. We'd love to do that.
Okay, so while we're doing that, let's see. There's a couple questions here. Remember, you hashtag ask. Let's see. So I saw a good question here. Let me find it. And if you have any that you see it, by the way, let me know.
I like Dion. He said, he started out with the camera and a microphone. Bam. That's good.
Yeah. No, definitely. I don't see Dion's comment, but
I just skimmed. You can look for the questions. I'm just picking up the feedback. Mario mentioned, I'm very thankful for the amount of info you guys give. Phil, you're welcome, Mario. Yes.
Steven, by the way, you said the link's not working. I'll drop the same link again. I think that should work.
It worked for me.
If it's not, let me know. Yeah, that's how we got Leticia in here, by the way. So USA Forever, you're very welcome, by the way. Thanks a lot for joining us. And you won, I think, the pillow 1 week with us. So thanks a lot.
Yes, you did. I remember that.
Okay, let's see. Here we go. Here's the questions coming in. Perfect. Okay, so I see Martin. Martin, if you can do me a favor, if you can just activate your camera, that'd be great, and we can bring you in.
Want them cameras on.
So Steven, I know you have a question here. So what's the best way to feature your guest and minimize the host on the screen?
Go ahead, Christian.
Let's see. So I think for me, I would use the StreamYard controls to feature my guest. So I would solo a guest. So let's say it's Leticia. I'm going to click the solo button and bring her on. That I think that's what you're asking, unless you're looking for something else. Let me know. And when you join us backstage, we can definitely bring you on.
Or you can switch it to where, he could switch it to where I'm bigger and he's smaller, or he's smaller, I'm bigger. I do that a lot. just so people can continue to see that it's a partnership show. Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll see this. So so Stephen's question is, what's the best way to feature a guest and minimize the host on screen? Okay, so I'm going to go in. I've got my screen pulled up here. And so if I want to make some adjustments here, so let's see, if I wanted to solo this shot, let's say this was a person, I'm going to click this icon. This is the little small icon here, like almost like the picture in the picture. So we can click that. That's going to solo. In addition to that, so Leticia was mentioning, I think you were mentioning this one actually. Let me see. How can we do this? I can do that.
Yeah.
So this is a way for me to be, for example, on one screen and have the other person on the other. That's another option. So I think that's what you're asking, but if not, let me know in the comments and we'll do our best to answer that. With that though, let's go ahead and bring on Alexis. I saw Martin dropped off, so Martin hopefully will come back. But Alexis, thanks a lot for joining us. So
Hello.
do you have a question? Hey, how are you?
Hello, StreamYard. StreamYard. In StreamYard. StreamYard. Some picture after StreamYard.
What's your question exactly?
Yeah, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, sí. StreamYard, porque yo como soy StreamYard, un poco StreamYard y StreamYard y bajarse Argentina y carajo, StreamYard.
I'm not exactly. I'm not following. I asked your question. Can you do me a favor? Can you put it in the comments? And
yes.
I'll drop you out. Maybe try come back in and see if that actually. I think you might have a connection issue.
Yes.
But if you can drop your question in the comments, I will. Let me see if I can get a better understanding of what your question is.
Yeah. So, yeah. Definitely. Okay. Yeah. Definitely put it in the comments.
Yeah. Thank you.
Somebody said the audio was bad. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll see what's going on there. So, okay. So in the meantime, Sherry is here, and I can't. You'll have to tell me if it's Sherry or Cherie. I'm not sure exactly, but let's bring it on. I know you had a question in the comments. I think you were saying you had to like 20 people tuning in, but let's bring you on. Okay. So how are you doing?
Sherry is here, and I can't. You'll tell me if it's Sherry or Cherie. I'm not sure exactly.
And let's do this. Let's. I think you might need headphones actually, because I think you have.
Turn us off on your other device.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll tell me if it's Sherry or Cherie. I'm not sure exactly.
So do me a favor. Mute your device.
Can you hear me?
Yes, that's much better. Yes, thank you. So tell us about yourself. Who are you? What's your show about? And also, what your question is.
Hi, my name is Sherry Harris. My show is His Will for Your Life. We've been airing now for going on 7 weeks. And the trouble I'm having is trying to focus solely on my guests. So I would remove myself and allow my guests to just come on, but I want to minimize it so that the guests, I can be on with the guests, but I'm minimized and then the guest is full stream. So how do I do that?
Okay, so Leticia, do you want to take that one first?
Yes. So I'm pretty sure, Christian, you can show her the option where she can pick. Like I have a show too where I do that, where I make myself small and my guest is large. The people can still see me, but I'm just like to the side of the screen, and I can switch back and forth real easily. Okay. So Christian's going to show you exactly where to find that option.
So you see, on screen, you see how you have all these controls, right?
Yes.
Okay, so right now we're using this one, which is a screen share, and then the three of us are along the side.
Yes.
So if I want to, for example, Leticia, walk me through which one you would use, for example.
I would use the one where it's like the big, I'm like pointing to it on my screen. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth one.
This one, the one with one person and three? This
Yep.
one? Yes.
Yep. And
So-
also keep in mind, Sherry, that you can't move everyone around if you want. You have like 4 people on the side, and then the guests featured. So you can't move it around. You know, you just literally like drag and drop, basically.
Okay, I didn't know that. I just thought when I clicked on that, it would, fix itself.
Yes, and also make sure, and this is something I'm going to start to require too from all of my speakers, that if they are going to use their phone, they need to turn their phone to where it's landscape, because
Okay.
I'm realizing that since I refurbish my content, it just looks better when everyone is landscape. I mean, if you want to, obviously if you want to keep it that way, you can, but make sure that if they're on the phone, they just make it landscape instead of horizontal.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying StreamYard, by the way.
Awesome.
I'm learning as I go, and so catching you guys when I can is very helpful. So thank you for letting me come on, and I appreciate it.
You're welcome, sis.
Oh, and how do I gain some more audience? I'm streaming via YouTube and Facebook. So I'm doing my Facebook public page and then my personal page as well as YouTube.
Awesome. Well, you definitely want to get them to join your list. That's number one. So that way, when you go live, when you do the show, you can like pre-plan. So I do my shows every Saturday. I start to send out email notifications on Wednesday. So it's leading up to the show, especially if you want more people to come on a panel. You want to say, hey, you want to be on the show? Just click this button here, what have you. Another thing that's important, that if you're going to have guests on the show, they should be promoting the show as well.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay. You have a flyer, send it to me the email and say, hey, please post a flyer 48 hours before the show and the day of the show. That's very important. Okay. And then also what you do after the show, let everybody know, the people who are watching the replay, hey, if you're watching the replay, just type in hashtag. I always say type in hashtag replay. Okay. So you can shout out. Another thing that I'm sort of starting to go forward to doing is focusing on my 2 main platforms when it comes to StreamYard. So focusing on only streaming live on my YouTube and in my groups only. Mainly because it's like I want people to find me where I want them to find me, and on platforms where I can actually monetize. Awesome. So what are your 2 main platforms, and your other platforms you could pivot them to that main platform. So I don't go live too much on my Facebook personal page, but what I will do is I'll post my show flyer and say, hey, catch me on YouTube at my YouTube channel, and have them go over there and set up a reminder and what have you. So that's another option you can do, because sometimes when you're showing up all over the place, it's sort of like, you want people to show up where you want them to show up on. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because you can on YouTube, you can create playlists, you can catalog your content. If people miss your shows, you say, hey, click the link below. It's going to give you my whole playlist of the show, because I put mine into episodes. Okay. So that's another option that you do. Those are easy things to do, sis. Really.
Okay. So a couple of things. So for starters, to Leticia's point, don't just, so if you're just going live on the platforms and you don't have an engaged audience, or you don't have an audience there necessarily, or community, you're going to go live, but you're not going to necessarily bring any new people in. So the things you need to do, you need to start trying to build an email list. So invite people, like, for example, having it's as simple as setting up a web page on your website, and you can put like, for example, if you're using like MailChimp or Aweber or any of the other email marketing services, they give you an embed code for a form, and literally you just open your website, create a new page, paste the embed code from the email service, and then someone can opt in from that page. So you could be like, hey, go to mywebsite.com/newsletter. Okay. So just be smart with what you give them. Don't give them something complicated. It's like /newsletter, /email newsletter, something like that. Okay. They then can go there during your show. And so then as they're tuning in, they know where to go. And the form, basically, they put their name, they put their email address, remind them, thanks for joining, and to encourage them to opt in. And then you can start emailing them at that point once they opt in.
That's right.
That's the first thing to do. Second thing is, for example, if you're streaming to YouTube.
Messages now. Kim Curry, my message.
No, that's okay. So if you're streaming to YouTube, one thing I would also consider doing, and I can't reiterate this enough, you have to go, once you schedule your live stream to YouTube, you need to go into your YouTube channel and update the title, the meta description, and the tags of your live stream.
That's right.
Oh.
And the reason I tell people to do this is because it's just like putting up a pre-recorded video on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You can optimize the video around a keyword.
That's right.
So for example, if you're doing like you could, and this is how you can attract another audience or more people, is optimizing. Now don't put in, don't optimize it for something that is not what your video is going to be about or what your live stream is about. So but you do want to make sure you're optimizing it. That way it can at least get outside your bubble of people and reach more people.
Awesome.
That's right.
You guys are helpful.
Spot on.
And
Okay.
last thing for you, by the way, is that next Saturday, we're going to do things a little different with the show. At the same time, we're going to have YouTube channel reviews.
Okay.
So if you have a YouTube channel,
Yes.
and for example, you're streaming to it, I would recommend tuning in next Saturday for that. And that way you can have them potentially with your channel on the show. And the people that are doing that, I mean, they do a great job with that. So it's definitely worth checking out. They'll play things like cover art and, not really knowing what the channel is about, for example, or, maybe keywords or description or certain things. But they have some really good tips they share. So definitely check that out. We only do that once a month, actually. So.
Okay. Well, thank you both so much. I appreciate you allowing me on and giving me some feedback. I did take some notes. So hopefully next week we air each Wednesday. So hopefully I can incorporate the things that you showed me today.
Awesome. I'll be checking you out.
All right. His will for your life. Thank you.
Send me a private message with a link. Like just send me a private message. Say like, hey, this is my show. This is the title. And then send me a link to it. Just send that to Facebook.
Okay. I will do that right now before I get out.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, guys.
You're welcome.
All righty.
Okay. So I see we got a lot of other really good questions as well as some people waiting backstage. This is good. We got Marin and we've got Note to Men and Women here. So let me find these comments real quick because they're really good ones, actually. Mario, you're very welcome, by the way. Thanks for the information you guys give anytime. I love doing this.
Yes.
So, keep joining and keep submitting. Again, if you have questions or comments, if you have a question you want us to answer, #ask. And then if you have a feature request, these are things we could be building into the StreamYard product, put #feature. And then that way it allows me to know, what we're looking at here. So
that's right.
Okay, let's see. So I have a question here. Let me see. Where's this? There's a lot of good questions here, by the way. So where did it go? Okay, so I have a question. We'd like to, this is from Moana. We'd love to be able to schedule shows further in advance. 7 days is limiting when you're trying to lay things out in advance and be successful in providing information to guests. So I assume you're just streaming to Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook has a 7-day limit. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
It's a
that's Facebook
limitation. They don't want, you have to think of it like this. They don't want you to schedule more than a week out. And the bottom line is it's their product. So
that's right.
They want you to make it sticky, meaning, you go live sporadically, and 7 days is to them a generous buffer. So there's no way to get around that necessarily. Now, the things you can do though, hey, how do you lay things out, ahead of time? I'll tell you right now, I have my own show called Social Chatter, and I've got guests booked out through May already. So what I've done is I have a process for my show, but then I also have a spreadsheet that I keep, and I book my guests, and then I know every single week ahead of time, I do my show on like Thursdays. So then I know okay, so probably on Monday of the following week, I schedule it out.
That's right.
So that's one way I do it. What do you think?
Yeah, I do save with that. You could also do a save a date, basically, just like they do for a wedding. If you only because I know some people that only want to do Facebook. Okay, and that's okay, and that's where your audience is. Do that, and then pivot them other places. But do a save a date. Send that out. You do a post. Hey guys, I'm going to be going live in 14 days. Let them know the day and time. Let them know what you're going to be talking about. So you can do that, and then just put it on your calendar or put a timer on your phone when you're supposed to actually schedule it, when the grace period is to schedule it 7 days before that actual live. But Christian's right. That is a Facebook thing. That's not a StreamYard thing.
And you also have to look at the platform. So Facebook is like 7 days. YouTube, I don't think there's a limit there, but there is a little trick you want to do for YouTube. And let me see if we have this on the StreamYard channel right now, because I know we've had a lot of live streams the last couple of days. Let me
Yeah.
see if we have any that are scheduled. Okay, we don't, but let me show you how this looks actually. So I'm gonna share this real quick, and then I know we've got some really good questions. Like Paul Coupland, I see you have a question about live streaming 3 times a week, and you're not feeling it's worth the pounds when I guess you're getting some sort of glitch. I'd like to know what that glitch is.
Yeah, let us know.
Like, for example, let's talk internet, let's talk camera, let's talk computer, all that sort of stuff, because all those little pieces play into the puzzle. So so join us backstage. Okay, so Leticia, while I'm doing that, do me a favor. If you can find Paul's comment, and let's start from there and see if there's any other ones we want to bring up.
Sure thing.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share real quick the StreamYard YouTube channel. And so what I'm doing here is, so this is what I want to show you real quick. So you'll see on the channel, you'll see we have, for example, we've got StreamYard product updates. I think you can see this. Nope, there you go. So we've got StreamYard product updates. So we basically have various shelves on our YouTube channel. These are on the home page of the StreamYard YouTube channel. And so we have StreamYard Town Hall that we do every week. We have the live stream reviews. We've got Daniel's Tech Talk Show. We've got StreamYard Connect. We've got StreamYard Spotlight that Kelsey and Dana Bents do, where they spotlight a StreamYard user. We've got how to make your live streams better and so forth. So what you would want to do for any of your scheduled live streams is you'd want to go in and we want to customize our front channel on our YouTube channel. So basically we can have a section. You won't see it here right now, but anytime that I schedule a StreamYard live stream, it would actually show here along the top. So it would actually be right above this. Anytime there's a StreamYard live stream, every single episode would be scheduled there, and people would be able to see ahead of time what's there. So, what other questions do you see, Leticia?
Dan Lane Pro, he asks, how did you choose your content topic for your show?
Good question, actually. Okay. So, do you want to take that one, Leticia?
One of the things you showed, I believe, I don't know if it was the last episode or one before that, but you were showing something on Google that I think is an amazing tip. So first thing you want to choose is, what do you enjoy talking about? Like beyond, a lot of times people tell you find your niche and what have you, but what do you enjoy talking about? And then going on Google and looking up what is your current audience saying about your particular topic that you want to discuss. Your particular topic that you want to discuss. So that's a great way to start figuring out what bullet points you want to address in your live shows, but you could build from that. That's what you can do. Definitely. That's a great way to get started, is first and foremost, what do you enjoy talking about? And then seeing what your audience is saying about the particular topic that you enjoy talking about. Yeah.
No, you definitely want to focus on like what topics you want to talk about. Like basically think of it like this: the things you can talk about forever without getting bored. That like you don't really have to do a whole lot of content research. For example, it's not taking the same thing you've already done, but it's taking what you've done and turning it into something that you can live stream. That's one thing I would definitely look at. In addition to that, I mean, like I did the live stream reviews, and here's the reason why: because I looked at some of the other videos we had been publishing, and I said, you know what? I listened. So I listened to my audience, or in this case, the StreamYard audience. I listened in our Facebook group. I was watching our YouTube channel. I'm reading through the comments. What kind of feedback are we getting from people? And I said, hey, you know what? I think this would be a good idea. And then what I did was I didn't wait a long time. I did my research. I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to get my, graphics, get some of my stuff ready. And then I'm going to go live and we're going to see how it worked. I think the first time when we did, Leticia, I think we had like 4,600 views on it.
Yes.
It was pretty awesome, actually, for a live stream, especially one that I think I actually scheduled it 20 minutes ahead of time as well. So that's how I came up with the topic. But then you want to remember this. So if it's your YouTube channel, for example, and you're building this on a YouTube channel, you want to make sure that also your videos that you're publishing on your channel are related to what you're streaming about.
That's right.
So for example, if you're going to talk live streaming, we're publishing primarily about live streaming. We're not going outside of that and, talking about sports, for example, or talking about things that really or makeup tutorials or things like that aren't necessarily related directly to our live streaming product. So you kind of have to look at what your channel's about. Like if you're a cooking channel, you may love tech and gadgets that are, electronics, all that other fun stuff, but if you're primarily publishing recipes and things like that, you're not going to want to publish that same kind of content on the channel. So you want to look at what your channel's about and structure it around that. Be very focused on a specific niche.
That's right. And it's always a struggle with that too as well. It's like it goes from what you, because after a while you're going to say, well, I love to talk about this, but my audience wants me to go this direction. I'm gonna give you an example. So I started off my live streams talking about sales and sales processes and things like that. But I discovered that my audience wanted to discover how they can grow their core audience. That all connects with sales, because you got to have people to talk to. You need to have more people in front of your offer for you to make money. So that's when I shifted and niched down a little bit and said, you know what? I'm just going to talk about audience building, because it does tie into sales. So you will sort of hit that fork in the road with what direction that you want to go in for versus what you enjoy talking about versus what your audience needs to hear now from you. So you will shift it from time to time. And that's what same example Christian made. Listening to your audience is very important, especially if you want to make this a business. You got to listen to your audience. And I did that on my show the other day, where we just paused for a moment. It was like, hey guys, what do y'all want? What topics do y'all want us to discuss for the rest of the year? And they was pouring topics and we were writing stuff down, adding it to the calendar, and it made it more easier, because I'm like, girl, we don't have to sit here and figure it out anymore. They told us. We just have to find some great information based around the topic. So it's hard if you make it hard. That's what I always tell people. It's super simple if you're willing to listen and give people what they want to hear.
Definitely. And by the way, we've got a lot of questions and we've got a lot of people waiting backstage. I want to make sure that we get to every single one of you.
Yes.
So I know a couple people have dropped out and come back in. Just come back in. I promise you, we will get to those. I will also get to as many of your questions that we have. If we don't answer your question, do us a favor, just put it in again, because they are scrolling up. So I know one of the questions people are going to ask is like, hey, I want 10 comments. I'll put that in a feature request. So
yeah, I see another. Yeah, after. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say Garden State Gardener. By the way, doing research on live streaming, didn't do live streams, but wondering what's the best package to buy and what added audio equipment should I buy? Do me a favor. I would love for you to come on stage on with us.
Yeah,
like, you don't have to have any equipment whatsoever. You can just open your webcam. But do me a favor, come on stage, and this way we can talk through that with you to learn more about what you're doing, because I know Paul has a question here as well that's a very similar question. So let's so we'll answer your question. Let me see what else. And Corey had a question about how to make countdown timers.
Yes, I saw that.
I know we provide some countdown timers in your StreamYard dashboard. So if you log into StreamYard.com into your account and you look under the brand section, you will see there's a countdown timer under video clips. You can customize, you can add your own. You can also use tools such as wave.video as well to make your own. If you're a Canva user, Canva has this feature as well. The wave video ones, you can customize. The Canva ones, you can't. Like, I can't lengthen the timer that Canva lets me create, but I can create a countdown timer in both places. So I dropped a link to a tutorial, because we do a Learn with StreamYard episode where we actually showed you how to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. Let me go through this real quick. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and bring on. Who do you want to bring on? Actually, Leticia, let me know. I've got 3 people waiting. I've got.
I can't see
Marin. Okay, so I'm going to bring on Marin real quick here. Marin was, I think, first in line here, so we're going to bring on Marin. I think you've joined us last week, so good to see you, Marin.
Hey.
Hey.
How you doing? Thank you very, very much. Anyway, before I ask my question, I just want to say to Christian, thank you very, very much for the winning pillow. So I am
very welcome.
Thank you with all my heart. So anyway, my question is very, very simple. How to pre-record here in StreamYard? Because I heard that you can do a pre-recorded video if you desire not to use the live stream.
Okay. Yes. Good question. Very good question, actually. So, Leticia, do you happen to have your screen pulled up? Or I don't know if you want to pull your screen up and I can bring it in and we can show her how to do this.
I sure can.
And while you're doing that, I do see a couple other really good questions here, by the way, and I'll get to those. But Kachi, I know you had a question about offering adjustments of screen sizes. I'm going to make a note for feature request. Leticia, just let me know when you have that pulled up, and I'll.
Yep, I have it pulled up right here.
Perfect.
But hide this. Yep.
Stay.
I'm ready to go.
There we go. Okay, so I've got Leticia. Leticia, we're gonna pull this up. I'm gonna let Leticia walk you through how you do this. So
okay,
Leticia,
so you go here where it says share. You click on that. Click on video file.
and real quick, are you looking to share a video, or are you looking to pre-record a video without going live?
Pre-record.
Yeah, so these are all my pre-recorded videos here. So what you could do is you can just use your regular computer. If you have a pre-recorded option on your video on your computer, sorry, or you can do it through Zoom. You can even do it through StreamYard as well. And these are all my pre-recorded videos. So I can select a video to show. And now StreamYard allows us to upload videos at any number of minutes.
So that's one way. Yes. So that's one way you can do this. So you can, if you wanted to like play that as a bit of a pre-recorded video, you can add it to your stream and then use the live feature to push it out. Now, in addition to that though, while you're on screen there, Leticia, so do me a favor. Let's go up to the, if you click on, or I think that'll kick you out, won't it? Do me a favor. Click on, let's see if we can do this. Click on the StreamYard duck. I think it might kick you out, but I want to go back to like the actual destination and show her how to set up just a recording.
Click on what?
Click on the StreamYard icon. Yeah, at the top left. I think it's going to kick you out. Okay, so that's going to kick her out. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share my screen, actually. I'm going to open another StreamYard tab. Wait for Leticia to join us back again. Okay, so I'll go ahead and show you here. So I have a demo broadcast pulled up. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So I've got this demo broadcast. And by the way, Leticia, please, hopefully she's still watching. Hopefully she comes back. But basically, this is the demo broadcast. And so what I want to show you here, so the way you just set these to just record and not live stream is to go up to your destinations here at the top. So we're going to edit our destinations. And so let's say I want to take this out and I just want to record only. So if I click that and remove that, it's going to be just a record only option here. So I'll remove that. Okay. And now you see how you have this skip record only option. Okay. So it's a skip record only. So this would be, if I hit save, this now, when I hit record, this is going to record just within the StreamYard dashboard. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
So that's all you have to do.
Okay. Thank you.
Very welcome. Thanks a lot for joining us, by the way. Any other question real quick, or?
Okay. As you can see, I am actually with your forum, right? I am facing with my desktop.
Okay.
How to look into the camera, because whenever I look at myself, I'm looking at on the left-hand side or the right-hand side. It's not like how you are appearing in the screen is perfect, but okay. How do we actually look in the camera? I mean, it seems like whenever I look at myself, it's either I'm looking down or looking up. So how can I look like directly, like how you looking exactly to us audience?
Good question. Very good question. Leticia, do you have any tips?
Yeah, I mean, it has to do with your setup. Like my camera is like literally like eye level in front. That does help, even though I still look at the screen anyway. I have to constantly prompt myself to look at the camera. Yeah. So that it really has a lot to do with your setup, keeping it at eye level and making sure you have it that way. That would work best. If you have the camera over here, but your computer is over here, and you try to manage the comments and do all that stuff, you're going to keep going back and forth. So I always make sure to have the camera at eye level.
Okay.
And then the other tip I would offer on that, so I would say, so like, for example, one thing you'll notice, like you'll see me looking off to the screen like this right now, for example. Now, the reason that is because my camera is right here and I have a monitor right here. And I'm looking off because I'm like, okay, I want to like make sure everybody's doing well. I'm looking at the comments and things like that. But it is going to come down to positioning of the camera. For example, even if you have a DSLR, for example, and they have like a screen on it, like I have a screen on this, and even something I need to pay attention to is if I look up, I'll show you how this works actually real quick. So I've got this camera right? And it has a screen that flips around. So this is me looking directly into the camera, but above that, just slightly above it, is the screen. And so the downside is that, like, if I think I'm like, if I want to look at myself and I'm looking up, I'm not actually looking in the lens. Does that make sense? So it's going to come down to how you position things. So for example, it's like, for example, if you have a monitor, like you could have the monitor like you want it takes practice for starters.
Yeah, it does. It does. That's true.
You'll have people, they'll do like teleprompters, for example, will be part of it. Like you can put a teleprompter where you can look into the teleprompter. Like that's actually honestly the best way to do this, I think. Like I have a teleprompter.
That is so true though, because it takes practice. Because, like, for example, right now, in reality, most of the creators are shy, right? But you are forced to act like, okay, I am confident, but in reality, your heart is pumping hard because, like, for example, right now, you are facing the camera, but you are not so sure 100%. Are you really talking to the audience or you're just talking to yourself? I think along the line, it takes practice.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So it does take practice, but I will say the other thing you can do, and I actually have one here. I haven't set it up yet. I have a teleprompter, and the way it works is I take this camera that I have here, I put it in the teleprompter, and then, for example, the other thing I've done is I have a screen, and I don't want to get wrapped around the axle with all this, but I have a screen, and what I have is, a teleprompter is literally just a mirror. So I put the screen down, it's connected into my computer, and I can look and it reflects as if I'm actually looking at people. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that way I can look at people, still have the camera in position, and still be able to see people versus having the camera here and having a screen off to the side. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, and people know you're talking to them, especially if you're like engaging in the comments, you're putting the comments up on the screen. Like that's how they really know that you're talking. Like people don't be like, she didn't look in the camera, so she's not talking to me. No, like looking at the comments, letting your audience know that, hey, I see you, chatting in there. I hear you answering questions. That is how you show your audience that you're really communicating with them.
Definitely.
And
so it takes practice, all practice.
And also the last thing that I would share to each and every new YouTube creator, it really hurts your neck. I mean, you're trying, for example, I don't know if I have to put my heads up or try to relax your neck. And really, it's very hard to be a live host in reality. And a lot of people do not even think about that. They think they just come into the camera and start talking. But in reality, you got tongue-tied sometimes. And then you are focusing on the chat room. And then you're like, wait a minute, I am lost. Sometimes you get so lost and then you can't really function the right way. But then, of course, I have been watching Leticia and Christian, and every time they talk to the audience, it seems like you're talking to them in real life. Like, for example, Christian Ice, when he's tried to actually demonstrate or do the presentation, actually they're looking at you, and sometimes, is he really seeing me? And that is what I want to practice, is to have that aura, that you can really talk to the audience, because sometimes you're looking somewhere and people was like, what the heck is she talking about? She's not actually communicating. So anyway, I just want to say thank you, and thank you for my pillow.
Very welcome.
You're welcome. Enjoy it.
I want to reiterate one point that Leticia brought up at the beginning of the show. And what was that, Leticia, at the beginning?
The beginning of the show is distraction or addition.
and I want to frame that real quick. And what I mean by that is, if you make your show, like everybody that does a live stream, we want to make them the best they can be. And I'm all for that. However, we also have to look at where we're currently at in that live streaming journey. And what I mean by that is, if you're just starting out, for example, we know what we want our stream to be, but in order to get there, it takes time. And so, for example, it's getting comfortable on camera, for example. So if I start to add all these different processes or things that I have to do during my live show, it can actually detract from me building it. So it's a distraction in a way. So what I would say is, to your point, Maren, it's getting comfortable on camera. Like, for example, understanding like, you know what, where do I need to be focused at when I'm looking at my audience? Get used to that, get used to your script, for example, and so then it just becomes like second nature. Like, hey, okay, I'm going to flip on the camera, hey, I've done this. Like I've done mine 200, I've done a show 270 something times on top of all the other ones I've done, and so it's practice. So practice, and continuing to improve as you're going along.
That's
so
right. And the last point I want to mention is that you said something about back pain and stuff. I had the same thing. Like PNR, I saw you when you say in the chat that you do 11 shows. Congrats to you for that. Putting a pillow, take that pillow that Christian just gave you, put it behind you, prop up. Always remember, because I was slouching at one point because when you're live, you're doing this a lot. I'd always remember, Tisha, put your back up. This is hard work. It's not easy. You're right. This is not easy.
Yeah. No, and that is also another thing when we talk about equipment. A lot of people invest in, and you should invest in audio. Audio is the most important part of your live stream, but audio is super important. Video is important. You don't have to go spend thousands of dollars on a camera, but also don't forget about some of the intangible things. So, for example, having a microphone, for example, to where you're not like, if your microphone, for example, is too low, then you're going to be doing this. And what am I doing? I'm going to be hunched over. So I'm getting stress in my neck, stress in my back. So I want to make sure that I have the right kind of connection or the right kind of device to connect my microphone. There are mic stands, for example, and you can move. You shouldn't have to hunch over. You should bring them towards you. So there's mic stands, they're $10, $20. They work with just about every single mic. Put your mic on a mic stand, bring it towards you. That way you can and speak into the microphone. And you don't necessarily have to like look into the microphone. You have it set up. It's at the right height, for example. Listen to your live stream, ask your audience. And then don't forget to invest in a chair. That's another big thing.
I was about to say that. That's my next investment. A chair, good chair.
And their chair is too low or they've got it too high. A chair is if you're going to be spending so much time in an office or on a live stream sitting, make sure you invest in a chair. Okay. So a good chair. So awesome.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I know we've got. Let me take two comments real quick here, and then I know we got a lot of other ones as well coming in here. So we got somebody asking about monetizing a channel. Note to men and women. I think you were backstage. Come back on, and we'll talk to you. Let's see. So Gazela Jabin is asking, is green screen available, and can it be used on Zoom settings? I'm not sure what Zoom settings you're referring to, or you're referring to zooming in. I'm not exactly sure there, but green screen is an option. You do need to make sure, though, you have the right amount of resources on your computer, because when you do turn on the green screen, it does mean it kicks in additional need for additional resources. So, for example, it takes a lot of video power, so you want to make sure you have a good amount of video. And then also, honestly, like you'll hear Leticia and I talk about green screens all the time. Green screens really aren't all they're cut out to be. They're great, but I have one. It's sitting over here on a table. I think Leticia, you have one as well.
Yeah, mine is in the living room somewhere, packed, put on. I don't even know. It's in there somewhere.
It takes a lot of, you need hardware to be able to. You need to make sure you light them properly, and then B, you need to make sure that you also have the right amount of system resources on your computer to be able to chroma key or remove. That's what it's called. Chroma key, remove the green screen and replace it with something. You could easily just set up, you could put like a table, you could put a couple of decorations on it or things like that. And you could actually build essentially a backdrop that is a functional backdrop as well, if you want to. So, but good question. Okay.
Yeah,
and then one
keep
more
that
question.
in mind. Also, if you have good lighting, if you're doing it during the day, what I noticed when the sunlight will come through the window, it will make one side of the green screen a little blotchy, and it's more time for me. It was just like, oh god, it's more time to set up. It's just, that's why I was just rolled it back up, put it back in the box.
Yeah. And then one other question here is from Honora. She's asking, does the interviewer and interviewee both need access to StreamYard?
Good question.
So the answer is no. The interviewer, yes. The interviewer is going to log into their dashboard, their StreamYard dashboard, and like it's going to look exactly like this. So let me see. It'll look like this. So this is my dashboard for this episode. And so I have, as you can see, I have all the controls. I have the ability to see comments, private chat, change banners, change the brands, and so forth. So that is what the main admin on the account is able to do. Now, the interviewee, for example, anyone that's backstage right now with us, all they need is for me to send them the invite code to join, and that's under the invite option in your StreamYard dashboard in your broadcast, and that's all they need. And then you bring them on. If they want to share their screen, they can share their screen. You, as the admin or the controller of that account, can then bring it into the broadcast.
That's right.
Okay, so
we have Paul, a lot of questions.
I'm going to get to these questions. Paul, I want to thank you very much for being super patient. Had a lot of questions. I know you had some questions as well. I think yours was related to glitching and whatnot. So, Paul, thanks a lot for joining us.
Good evening from the UK. I'm basically a radio DJ, and I do streaming 3 times a week, and I'm a radio 3 times a week. So basically, the issue I'm having is 3 of my friends, the past few weeks, we've had glitching where it cuts out completely StreamYards, and it just cuts out. It doesn't respond to anybody, the main host. Second of all, we had a problem where we basically put a video on and it glitches out. We've got good internet, we've had a good everything, and it doesn't work properly. We don't know whether it's. We've contacted StreamYards 4 times and they didn't respond, not back to us, which is unusual because they usually do respond. And the guy's going live tonight. He's having major issues. Last week we had to be dropped out loads of times to get him back onto the stream, but everyone else was fine. But then suddenly it stopped and it started glitching.
So, so a couple of things. So, have you run a speed, just random stuff? Have you run a speed test? Okay. So, like, what kind of? So, I know for people that are viewing, if you look at your speed test. So, if you go to speedtest.net,
I'm a tech engineer. This is what I used to do. So, so what do you get for upload? 76 megabytes. Basically, it should be plenty. He's getting about 40 to 50 megabytes. The other one's the same. And we have no problems with the internet. Every single day is fine. But it comes to evening time, especially Saturday night, Sunday night, and then Friday night, when my other people are streaming, we're having major issues because we can't. It's about a 20-second delay lag between the actual talking to somebody and then responding, and we're talking on each other.
I'm wondering if there's something going on with the internet.
We've spoken to all internet companies. We've spoken to all the streamers, and there's a lot of people saying the same thing in the UK. It's been, I would say, at least I'm on about 20 streams a week. I'm on. Yeah. So I know most of the UK streamers which go on, and they're saying the similar things at the moment. There is a lot of streamers going problems. We did contact them. We did contact StreamYard to ask them, but no response back about it. But then we did see on Twitter page the other day that they were upgrading something or doing something to the system. And I said to them, that's fine, understandable. But that last week we couldn't watch properly the stream, which I'm watching tonight, which he goes live in 27 minutes. He'll go live and he has to be dropped out all the time to get onto it because the StreamYard's not connecting. I don't know if it's connecting from UK network to the US network or wherever your wherever your server is. It's just dropping out, and that's the main problem we're having.
I would say this: if you do, I would say contact our support team. I definitely think it's not normal that they wouldn't respond to that. If you were going the email route, I would say. So I'll pull up the page here and show you what to click on here. So what I would do is I would do this. So here's the broadcast. Okay. So what I would do here is I'd go here. Don't just send us an email. I would say just for in your case, like since you have a pretty immediate stream, I'd click on the help button here in the middle and then use our chat here at the bottom.
That's fine.
And that's going to get somebody. And I would say that should get you somebody that's definitely always on. We have great chat support.
The other thing is we're trying to sort out is we need StreamYards. I don't know when they're going to get sorted this out. Is to combine your settings with Stream Deck, because we try to use hotkeys, we try and use everything, but we need a shutdown button so we can kick somebody out of the basement or kick somebody out of the picture straight away. Literally, if somebody comes up, say a troll by accident, because we 9 of us use Stream Decks all the time, and we're having problems. The coding doesn't always work and it doesn't respond. So we
Right.
we tried it 7 times different networks, and that's another thing I've contacted support about, and still no response. But that was about 3 months ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's weird. I mean, because I've been here for at least 3 months, and I would say I know like we don't have hotkey support at the moment. I know that's something on our roadmap.
Yeah.
But again, I mean,
Yeah.
I know I talked to somebody yesterday. They got in touch with support, and they were literally chatting with them by the time I'd closed my window. So
Yeah.
so I'd say contact them back. I know they definitely can help you with that. I'm sorry you're having that.
That's fine.
Yeah. Sorry.
I've been a DJ for nearly 20 odd years. I've been doing tech for about 25 years. So I know a little bit more about it than some people do. And I use 2 platforms. The main one is StreamYard. And the thing is, I paid for this one to start using it again. But at the moment, a lot of people asking me, is it worth it to do it? I said, my opinion, yes, it is. But they need to fix this, or we need to find out the fault with it. We're having all the other streamers having a problem, and they're having a problem. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it's just one of the things. We'll contact support again, but I thought I'd let you know.
Yeah, do me a favor. If you don't hear from them, you're welcome to private message me, and you and I can chat, and I can let them know, like, hey, you're on the way, and we can go from there. So, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me up. Thank you again. Thank you.
Welcome. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Thank you, Leticia. Thank you.
Okay, so let's get through some of these questions, and then we're gonna bring on Melvina. Melvina's got some questions, I think. So let's do 5 questions.
5.
Is 5 enough, or do I need to do
5
10?
is
You tell
good.
me.
Let's do 5. Let's do 5 and then get to the guests.
Okay, so I'm currently at, let's see. So actually, let me just look through these real quick.
Yeah.
Let's see. So,
and guys, make sure you're putting hashtag ask and then the question. If it's a feature request, put hashtag feature. That just helps us out so much.
Okay, yeah, it definitely does. Okay, so here's a good question. And you see that one, Leticia?
Yes. Can it show my slides for presentations? And can I do my video and edit it without going live on Facebook or YouTube?
The answer to that is yes, you can.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to get you a video. So, Adafe, you have we had a Learn with StreamYard episode that we did, and we talked about how you can use Google Slides to share a presentation in StreamYard. The same thing also holds true for PowerPoint or things like that as well. So, if you want to share that, definitely check out this video. It's a tutorial where I'm giving this. It's showing you how I split my screen up, how I open Google Chrome in one, how I have my StreamYard dashboard in the other, and then the other window. And then I basically am sharing everything that's open in the Chrome tab in the other one. So definitely check that tutorial out.
Yeah, it's a real good video. Check it out. Check it out.
And if you still have questions, you're welcome to message me as well. So, okay, so there's one. Let's see, next one. Is there a way to hide the number of people who are live watching? I don't know of a way to do that.
And why would you want to?
Good question. Yeah. No, good question. I think that's it's a Facebook and a YouTube stickiness thing. And what I mean by that is they want you to come back to the platform, or sorry, they want you to come to the platform. Like if I'm connected with somebody, they want me to come back, and they want me to, stay engaged with those people. At the same time, it's a stickiness thing because, you might go back to check your numbers, but then it also helps show people like, hey, if there's a lot of people watching this stream, then, it might be worth me sticking around, tuning in, or sharing it. So they want you to do that. So they're not going to let you hide those numbers.
Yeah.
And honestly, don't worry about those numbers.
Don't.
Because the value is often in the replay of the video.
That's right.
You do the live stream, and let's say you have 5 people tune in. 5's, it's good because you have to remember, if everyone else is streaming, you're all like going after a piece of the pie. And if you don't have a built-in community and you're streaming, you're going to want to try to get that community so that those numbers do go higher. But you also want to make sure you're also optimizing them properly as well. So don't just go live just for the sake of going live. You have to start building a community. Like Leticia said, get an email list, notify your email list ahead of time. Do things to, promote your show ahead of time. Don't just go live and expect people to tune in.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily know about you.
Yes.
So,
but Yeah, 2 points I have is one is in the beginning when I first started going live, the numbers did sort of distract me. So I would just put a piece of tape over it so I wouldn't even see it. Just because I just wanted to get used to just talking. Number two is you need those numbers because if I notice I have 20 people hopped on and then I'm on for about an hour, I notice it dipped down to 5. It's time for me to close, give my CTA and set it up for replay views. So yeah.
Let's see. So let me see. Set a question after the show. So let's know what can change. Give me 6. Okay. So sorry. Does the internet speed affect the live stream video quality from Note to Men and Women? I know Note to Men and Women. We're also going to bring you on here in a second as well.
Yes.
So the internet speed does affect
Yeah.
the video quality. Yes. This is a big reason why we're always telling people to plug into Ethernet over using a wireless connection.
That's right.
Because a wireless connection is going to be a lot of this, a lot of ups and downs. So you're going to, versus an Ethernet connection, because it's plugged in, it's getting a constant signal.
Mm-hmm.
And another little interesting little trick, actually. So how you like sign up for internet service and they say like, hey, you get 100 megabits per second or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of the you want to make sure you ask your ISP this. I found out this myself. I'm paying for a certain service, but the only way that I get it is if I plug into Ethernet. So you want to make sure you ask your service if like that speed is for internet, for people connected over Ethernet and Wi-Fi, or if it's just an Ethernet connection, because it will impact the amount you get. Now, as far as the speeds, you want a minimum of 3 to 5 megabits per second upload speed, by the way, not download speed, upload speed. Because remember, if you are broadcasting, you are the host. So everything you're doing is going up to the internet. Some things you can be doing though ahead of time to help mitigate that and make sure you're not having glitches and issues on your stream. If other people are trying to stream on your network, make sure you're not all trying to do the same thing at the same time. Second thing, turn off any kind of backups that you have going on in your computer. This includes even things to like Dropbox or Google Chrome or cloud storage, because basically what will happen if your show like is going and then it freezes, a lot of times that's a process kicking in. So it could be Dropbox is trying to do a sync every hour, for example, or, and you just happen to fall within that window. So go in, pause those. And there's usually an application button in the window at the top. Click on the application, pause it, and then do your stream. That's the next thing. And then also make sure you restart your computer. A lot of people don't do that. Restart the computer. It cleans out a lot of the gunk, and should help free up some of the resources that your other system applications may not have released. Okay. So let's do 2 more, and then we're going to bring on Melvina here. So let's see. So Suplex Sparrow, when we'll be able to add audio clips to StreamYard, noted as a feature request. So good question. Let's do this one. Nizar has a good question here. Can you share best practices for a show where you would have guests come on who want to sing, have music playing in the background while they sing to play smoothly on StreamYard? So first off, when you're playing music, for example, like let's talk about playing music. So if they're playing a musical instrument and trying to sing, there may be some latency issues there. It just comes down to music on live streams doesn't always work very well. So if you see like, if you see like a famous musician and they're live, they're not actually live. They've pre-recorded that content.
Yeah.
So it is a little bit tricky. And then also let's say Leticia wants to play something and I want to also, I'm not a singer by the way, but let's say I wanted to try to sing to it. Our stream is pretty good, but there is a little bit of a delay. So there's not much of a way to get around that per se. It's going to be to test it out, to see how it works, and then to be aware of what those issues may be. It is hard to do a lot of that, i.e. the playing music and having singing, for example, with that. Now, the other part, if you're asking about playing music in the background, as in like playing music from like a software, for example, like an Apple Music or Spotify or things like that, I definitely wouldn't do that because, for example, if it's YouTube, if YouTube could flag it for copyright and take down your video, they will actually mute your whole stream. Facebook name, and then also if you're using a service like a YouTube Music on a stream you're going to YouTube with and Facebook, YouTube
Mhm.
might think it's fine, but Facebook might flag it. So you have to keep
Exactly. That's happened to me multiple times. Trust me, it's frustrating. I mean, and also, Nazara, to answer your question, this could be a great way for you to build your list because you can get away with it a little bit more in a group setting like a Facebook group. So maybe let everybody know, hey, we're going to have an upcoming singer coming on my show. Join my community and you can check her out. And obviously with the communities, you can set up the option where when people hit the join button, they have to give you their email address and maybe you could ask some other additional questions. But that could be a great way for you to sort of make your content a little bit more exclusive, especially if you're going to have other guests come on and entertain your audience.
And Malvina, I'm going to bring you on in 2 seconds, but I'm going to assume that Sun's jam session is actually going to show me this.
Oh,
I hope so. I don't know exactly. So are you not? No. Okay. I don't know. I was going by your name. I don't know. So, okay. Well, here's what I'll do. I'm going to bring on Malvina then real quick.
Yes.
And then I'm going to bring you on Sons. Okay. So again, keep asking your questions. If you have questions, put hashtag ask in the question. And if it's a feature request, hashtag feature. And this will allow us to easily go through this. And so while we're bringing Melvina on and having Melvina ask a question, we'll also be queuing up some questions.
That's right.
So Melvina, thanks a lot for joining us.
Hello. Please be patient with me because I am very new at this and I'm trying to get the hang of this. If you was on social media like Facebook, Instagram, or Zoom, anything, how do you go from a live stream into that platform? How do you go about that?
Good question. Very good question. Leticia, do you want to take this one?
So you meaning like how do you go live on the platform?
I know how to go live on Facebook. Okay.
Okay.
And I got Instagram, but like say if I'm on this like now and I want to share it with people on Facebook or YouTube or something like that, how do you combine where it can be shown in all the multiple places at the same time? You understand what I mean?
So you're on this show right now and you want to share it like on Facebook or something, right?
Yeah. I mean, not so much this particular show. Like if I'm a consultant. So if I want to, show off what I'm consulting as a jeweler or something on that, how do you go from one streamline into another streamline to share a multiple?
You mean like you're gonna go live and you want to show up on Facebook, not Instagram, but Facebook, YouTube, all at one time?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you would go into the destinations, like you set up your StreamYard account, and on I think it's the left side of the screen, it's a destination button, and you just follow the prompts. It'll ask you, do you want your streams to go to your Facebook business page, your Facebook personal page? Do you want to go to your YouTube channel? Do you want it to stream on Periscope? And you choose the destinations and you're basically giving StreamYard permission to when you hit the go live button, it will show up. Your live will show up on those platforms. So you like telling StreamYard where you want it to go. Go ahead.
And I'll show you how this works. So for everyone who's watching, hopefully, I think you can see this. So these are the destinations, for example, that I'm streaming to right now.
Yeah.
And so if I want to add, so I have to first connect these, but if I go in here and then I want to add a destination, I'm going to click the plus sign, and then I'm going to have the ability to select the ones that I want to stream to. Now, the things you have to remember. So for example, let's walk through these. If it's Twitch, for example, it's going to be to your own Twitch account or to someone else's Twitch account that you have access to.
Yeah.
So you'd have to go and log in. Same thing for Periscope. If it's YouTube, for example, you have to have your account added as a manager on their account to be able to then have it as an option in here. And the same thing for so like a Facebook profile. Again, let's say you're like, hey, I want to also stream to Christian's profile. You wouldn't be able to do that because you wouldn't have mine login. Does that make sense?
Yes, that do.
And then the same for Facebook groups. If I want to stream to a Facebook group, I have to have I have to be an admin of that Facebook group to stream to it.
Yeah.
Okay. And the second part of the question, which I didn't type.
No, it's fine.
This is for Leticia. Am I saying your name right?
Yeah, it's Leticia. It's okay.
Okay. I'm bad with names, so I apologize.
I'm the same way.
By me doing this, would this help me? Because when I go on like for instance Facebook, when I go on live, I always put in the description box, for new people joining, I ask for emails and information so I can keep reference of who and what every person who purchasing, who are. Would this help build up my email database doing it this way?
Absolutely, it will. I mean, you want to give your viewers an option to opt onto your email list. So you need some type of system to do that, because you just can't like write down the emails and then send them out email messages in Gmail. And no, they have to opt in to be on your email list. Okay, that's just a rule. We all have to abide by that. So that's how you build up your email list. So in case you have new inventory coming out, they could be the first to know about it before you even go live. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay.
And remember, so for the most part, it has to be a two-step opt-in, i.e., so step one is they go to some page, they put their email address in, and then that's going to trigger a second email to the person. And that second email is like, thanks a lot for signing up for my newsletter. Click here to confirm your subscription. So they click, they want to confirm. That then can get them on your list, and that allows you to email them at that point. Now, if they just give you for example, if they just give you a business card, for example, you legally cannot just put them on your email list.
Right.
Like because it's part of canned spam. It can actually be expensive, like not to scare people, but it can be like $5,000 per instance. So you have to be careful with that. If they just give you a business card, they're like, hey, here's my business card. Don't just add them to your list. Yes, you have the ability to go into your email service, and there's an option that says like add people. And then if you add them, it's like, I confirm that I got this person's permission.
Yes.
But make sure you actually do have their permission.
Exactly.
So, well, that's the reason I had to go back to school.
It's all right, Melvina. It's all right.
Okay, I thank y'all. Thank y'all. Some of it is clicking in, but no, it's a slow process, but I'm gonna get it.
Yes.
And definitely, if you want to, like, we have a Facebook group. So if you go to facebook.com/groups/StreamYard community, go there. And it's a great place for you to join. You can go and you can join us, and you can ask any questions you have, actually.
Okay.
So just be sure to go join us there.
Yes.
Okay. I will.
A lot of great information in there. And USA said, right, they're really big now on privacy policies. It's
right.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot for being patient, and thanks for joining us.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Very welcome. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, so
great question.
So Sun's jam session. I'm going to do 5 questions real quick here, and then we're bringing you in. Okay. Let's see. What do we have here, Leticia? So Jeff, I've got your feature request, wanting the ability to share audio clips and photos, just like the new share video feature works.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot for that.
Yep.
Let's
Jules
see.
had a comment. She said, Facebook is actually putting people in Facebook jail. I have seen that.
For doing what exactly?
For us asking them to put their viewers to ask to put their emails in the comments. I've seen that with 2 people just in the past week that got their whole accounts blocked. They couldn't sell anything anymore. So, just be careful with that.
Honora, something about I don't know if my mic's not good. Let me know, everyone.
Sounds good to me.
I think it's fine, but let me. I got a couple people telling me that. So, let's see. Lillian has a question. So here's first question. Live stream versus contented. I assume this means pre-recorded videos on YouTube. What would you suggest once the live's over? What can we leave that's valuable to the viewers? Good question. I think actually what you can do to help your viewers or to bring in more viewers is to optimize your live video for YouTube search.
Yes.
So don't just do the live and then done with it. Go into your YouTube channel and go into every single video that you do and look at the title, the description, and the tags, and see what, figure out what you want to optimize it for. What do you suggest?
Well, my understanding of the question is, and I get this question asked a lot, which is, should I go live or should I post videos?
Okay.
Now, live streaming, you got to think of it as weights, like you're pulling weights, right? Live streaming carry more weight. So that means that it's more, it shows up more on people's feed, like when you go on Facebook, Instagram, wherever, people see it more than a video. So what I do, I will go live on my public pages, but I will put videos in my groups.
Okay.
Because obviously I can't do both every day. I can't go live on to the public and also do live every day in my private communities. So since the live streaming carries more weight, I'll do that on the outside of my communities and then just do pre-recorded videos on the inside of my communities. And that way I can automate my communities by scheduling out my videos, I'm talking about my pre-recorded videos, and then also scheduling my live streams and hopping on live there. And obviously I do other live shows in the groups, but I'm just saying, like, for just like automation purposes, you can leverage pre-recorded videos in your groups. But not to say, I know a lot of people do pre-record their content to their public pages, but I'm just saying, if you're talking about weight-wise and exposure-wise, live streaming obviously is ranked higher than videos when it comes to algorithms.
Definitely. Yeah, no, that's a good question there. So, okay, let's do a couple more real quick. Let's see. So I'm going through. So if I missed your initial questions, let me know, by the way. So note to men and women, I know you said you have over 5 million plus views and 23,000 subs. Fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
Do me a favor. If you can come back on, we want to talk to you about that and talk more about that, because you have questions.
Yeah, that's amazing.
About monetization.
Someone asked Yves, she said, any tricks to play a sound effect easily while streaming?
Let me know if this plays, by the way. Should. I don't know what I'm going to play here. Let's see. You know what? Let me see.
That's a good question.
Let me actually see what I'm going to play, and I'll actually show you. I'll play something real quick. Let's see.
Yeah. I see that a lot on people's sound effect shows. They'll play like a horn or...
Does that play?
Yep.
Okay.
I hear it.
Okay,
How
cool.
did you do that?
So that is using a Rodecaster Pro. So I'm using a piece of hardware. So that's the first thing. Now, granted, that's it's a mixing board. It's between $500 and $600. But it's running all my mics. It has 4 mic connections. It has the sound pads. I can use it for live streaming. I can use it for podcasting. So that's one way I do it. Basically, everything is loaded into there, and then I can have different banks of sounds. Another way is to also use, you can try Voicemeeter. So Voicemeeter is a good piece of software as well for that. If you're a PC user, that one's a good option here. Let me drop some links here.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into that.
Okay, so Voicemeeter. You can also check out Loopback from Rogue Amoeba, or sorry, Loopback. Not Loopback. All right, they have a software called Farrago. This one is actually a very similar one. And this one runs on your computer. So that's one option, another option. And then another one I also like is, it's called Backpack Studio. Let me find the exact link to that one. So it's called Backpack Studio, and it's a pretty cool little app. So here, and also...
Yeah, that's cool. And Christian, quick question. USA live stream mentioned, are there copyright issues when it comes to sound effects? Like, I don't think there's a copyright on applause or like a tooting horn, because that's like...
I actually think there is.
Oh, okay.
But you do have to be mindful about what you get and where you get it from. For example, that came on my Rodecaster Pro, so I didn't have that one. But there are some cool things where you can record your own, for example, and you can make them your own sound effects. So that'd probably be the best way to do it. For certain things, look up royalty-free sound effects to make sure you're not, violating someone else's, like, because people did create them for the most part.
I know there's a gentleman, he's on a radio, Funkmaster Flex, and he has his own type of horn, like, and trust, he has that trademarked. So don't use his horn.
So I'd say yes. So if it's a sound effect, sound effects or audio or any of that stuff, you want to make sure that you are you research it. Don't just go grab it off someone's website. Like, look up royalty-free sound effects and find something that you're allowed to use. Because some of those, they may allow you to use them for personal use, but not for commercial. And commercial is anything that you're doing even if it's not generating you any revenue, but it's part of your business. So you have to keep that in mind. Okay, so let's see. So one more question real quick. Let's see. And remind me to go back to Kevin's question. I'll do 2 questions. So Kevin asked about wondering about the significance of the duck in the logo. That's when StreamYard was created. That's what we wanted to use that for. So like they thought that it was different. Yes. It came down to like the name and all that sort of stuff. So definitely yeah. So that's kind of, I mean, I don't know much else beyond that about why we use that. So
that's their logo. Bam.
That's So let me see. So I got looks like our jam session guy had to drop. Okay, so question for Moana asking, is there a way to have delegate ability so that our virtual assistant and social media manager can schedule on behalf of the owner admin? Absolutely. You want to tell them how to do that?
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely, one option is to give them your login, and they will or the second option is the code, right? Like they can log in and they'll get a code and they can log in that way. I don't know if I'm explaining it right. Yeah.
Right. So the way it is, so like, let's say I wanted to give Leticia admin access. So basically what I do is she knows, okay, go log into StreamYard. She doesn't log into her account. It's going to ask her for her email address. She puts my email address in. It's going to generate a code that gets sent to me. And then I send her the code and then she can join that way. And when she joins that way, that gives her admin access to be able to control things. Same thing for, your virtual assistant, for example, if you have a social media manager that needs to access things as well, same process. So we can go, so that's gonna be the best way.
Steve had a question about voice syncing.
I haven't, let me see. Where's that one at?
At the bottom? SVEN. Yes, at the bottom. Sorry.
Okay. I haven't got there yet. Okay. Sorry. I'm a little slow at the moment. And Andrew, you asked me about loopback. I'll answer that in a second as well.
Awesome.
Okay, so I love StreamYard, but for me, there's one function missing to keep voice audio in, voice in sync. I think that's going to be like, I think you're going to need to adjust I think you need mix minus on that. Like I'm not, for example, I think my audio is in sync.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing anything special. I've got a camera and a mixer. That's it.
I have seen people lives where their mouth is moving, but their voice is not matching. I've seen that many times.
I think that's the mix minus feature, but so the only ways to like fix that necessarily are going to probably use some hardware for that. So I think it's going to be I think that's what you're going to have to do. And then also I sort of think it's also a computer issue. Like maybe your computer doesn't have enough horsepower to keep up. So as you're trying to make your production more elaborate, I think you're going to run into like some little glitches there.
Yeah. And Michael said a suggestion. There's times where I have to go in and upgrade my Chrome. I didn't know this till like a month ago when I was seeing a red button pop up on the side of my screen, but I was like, disregarding it. And it was affecting my streams, but when I went in and upgraded, it fixed it. So that's another thing. Upgrade. Check for an upgrade.
And then and looking at the other comments that are in here, so Carlos Phoenix says like, syncing may require a delay setting on a mixing board or software. Absolutely. So that's why I'm using the one product I'm using, the Rodecaster Pro, because it has that functionality built in and it just seems to work.
Yeah.
And then Joey Basta also says it could be weak internet.
Yeah, that's true.
And Michael Daniels also says that it could be the computer as well. So in his case, he said more RAM and speed of your systems are not powerful enough. And I tend to I would tend to agree. I mean, what kind of machine are you using, Leticia?
I'm using an HP. I have my Ethernet connected to it though, so it didn't change my quality overnight, literally.
Yeah. So you're using Ethernet. I'm running I've got a MacBook Pro. I've got an M1 MacBook Pro, and that's it. But if you watch my shows maybe like 3 or 4 months ago, I also was running a 2012 MacBook Pro. That's actually what I've been using for the last number of years. So, I was still perfectly capable of running things just fine. The only delays I would, and again, my hardware hasn't really changed much. I added a different camera. That's about the extent of things.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I think it's potentially internet and the hardware of the system.
Uh,
Okay, so let me get back to some of these questions. Lots of questions here, by the way.
you see
Uh,
digits questions? He put a digit mart.
Haven't gotten
Yes.
there yet. Let me get through a
Okay.
couple of these real quick.
Awesome.
So Jasmine has a question. Is there a way to show round the corners of the cutouts? So the answer to that would be to create an overlay and bring that into your broadcast. So for example, like right now they're square, and that's because that's by design of the style that we have. So if you want to actually round that, what I would do is I would figure out what view you want and then create an overlay that's going to go over top of the square edges.
Well, that's a good idea.
And you can use Canva for that. You can use Easel. You can use what else? Apple Keynote. And the tip there that I would have for you is this. Let's say I want to do say I want to create an overlay for this exact screen that I have right now. What I would do is very simple. I would take a screenshot of the screen with Leticia and I both up. And so I have the 2-person thing. And I'm glad to see you taking notes there. This is good, by the way. So, so what I would do is I would take a screenshot, save that to my computer, and then go into my design program. Like I said, Easel, Canva, Adobe Photoshop, Pixlr, any of those tools. And then what I would do is bring my screenshot in and then build on top of it. Because for example, if you try to use Canva, they don't have the ability to do cutouts. So you could create a background, but if you want the cutouts, you're going to have to use like another tool for that.
Yes. And test it before you actually do the live. Make sure it's, even if you have a guest, maybe test with them and see how they're looking on the screen.
Yep. And you can test, by the way, anytime. All you have to do is create your live stream. So you create your broadcast, but don't go live. So go into your StreamYard dashboard, and then you'll have the ability to bring in yourself and your guest, or just bring in your overlay and see how it looks. And another little trick, let's say it's 2 people and you can only get 1 person on, send yourself a personal invite to your smartphone, open your StreamYard dashboard on your smartphone, and it will come into your main StreamYard dashboard as a camera to bring in. So now you can have 2 people, even though there's only 1 of you. And you can just 2, 3, 4, however many times you need.
I did that before. Good.
Okay, let's see. So question for Sons. So Sons, I think we answered your question, hence why you actually dropped out there. Is there a way to insert sound drops or sound effects outside of creating video overlays? Yeah, absolutely. As I mentioned, I'm using the Rodecaster Pro. I have an app called Backpack Studio on my smartphone. So for example, that's another big benefit to the Rodecaster Pro, by the way. You could plug your smartphone in and pull in sounds from that into into my mixer, for example, and bring it in. So that's another option. So those are quite a few ways to be able to bring some sound effects in. And then there's also the software side. Okay, so Jewel is also asking, apparently we need a moderator. Why not acquire a moderator for the show as the audience is building comments? We're working on getting there.
We're working on one of the shows they had a moderator, worked out pretty well. We're working on it.
So I see a good question from USA Livestream. You're asking, can I show you how to do it? Tell me what you mean by, can I show you how to do it? Are you asking, can I show you how to, you tell me, what do you want me to show you? And I'll be happy to try and show you whatever that is. I just need to figure out what you're asking.
Yes. What is it you want to show us?
Okay, let's see. So, let's see. So let me keep going. I'm probably behind here, so let me just catch up. Let's see. So Barbara mentioned, by the way, back to DJ Sparky earlier, it sounds like something's clashing with StreamYard. Yeah, I mean, it could. There's all sorts of things. I mean, I'm doing nothing special on mine, and my stream is just fine. I don't have anything. I have nothing extra that that other people I don't think might have. I think it comes down to internet. Actually, I actually think it's probably the time of day. Yeah, because there's going to be certain times, and like if everybody's trying to stream at the same time on your own home system, it's possible that your main internet service is throttling that. Or doing something, even though they might say they're not. So I would say,
and when you're on the and when you're on the Wi-Fi in your home, and I'm pretty sure everyone on here has a smart TV. So you're streaming Netflix on smart TV. Your kids are watching videos and playing games on their iPads. And then you're using Wi-Fi on your computer. Your Wi-Fi is like literally on overload. So you may have to, like, I've gotten two things. I've gotten an extender. So I have my main router here and I have my extender in the living room. And then I have my Ethernet plugged into my laptop. So I try to get a little bit extra just so if I'm on a live when it's 6 people and I'm hosting, it won't affect my stream. So
Definitely. Andrew, I'm going to bring you in here in a second. Let me just go through real quick, just a couple more comments. I'm slowly getting towards the bottom. I'm like way at the top, by the way. How does someone randomly get onto your stream? I have to let everyone in manually. So how does someone randomly get onto your stream? I mean, in my case, I send the invite code out, and then when they join, I have it set to where they're not automatically brought into the broadcast.
Yeah.
And that's actually a setting. So if you go under
How do you set that up? Oh yeah, go ahead. Because I need to set that up.
So let me actually find that real quick. Okay. So I'm going to go and share my screen. Let's see. Yeah, let me just do this. I'll share my screen. We'll share my entire screen. So you're going to see a lot of stuff here. Okay. So what you're going to see now. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the cam mic settings. Hey guys. I'm going to go to general, and then there's this option to automatically add shared screen.
We don't see it.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Always forget that step. Okay. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go to the cam mic setting. And then I'm going to go to general, and it's going to have an option that says automatically add shared video, shared screen / video to stream. So this way it's going to stop people as well. And then you can go in, obviously, you can also set some things up like guests can see viewer comments, guests must authenticate. You can put in banned users and things like that as well. If you have people that are, so that's another thing. If you have people that are constantly joining you, for example, you can just put their name in here and ban them, for example, if you need to. And that's as simple as, and I'm not going to do this to USA Livestream or NLTMW, but while I'm here, if you did want to like put somebody quickly into that list, just click the 3 dots, and then there's the block user option, or you can put them in timeout as well. Cool. Good.
Good. I didn't know that. I wrote that down.
Yes. So let's see.
Hey guys, head over and hit that like button. Hit that like button.
Can you sort of the sound quality on stream? Every time I stream and watch back, any music I played is poor. So what kind of, let's talk about this. What kind of music are you playing full of it? Are you playing an instrument, for example? Because if you're playing an instrument, there's always going to be like, it has to do with the pattern. So if you're playing music, it's one pattern, and then that's not translating necessarily properly. So it might be like if you're just playing with a microphone, then it's not going to pick up the same as actually being plugged directly into your device. So for example, if you have you may want to get an iRig. Basically, it's so it can basically be plugged in for music. That's how people can record music correctly. So it plays through that versus being able to like just play and hope that it's going to sound good when it gets picked up. Okay, so 2 more questions, and then Andrew, you're on. So we're going to insert. So we did Sun's jam sessions. Okay, can you sort? We did that one. Let's see. Remy, it's good to see you as well again. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Hey, Rem.
Let's see. William's asking if we have this type of thing in Spanish, or we'll do this thing in Spanish. I could put that in. That's a feature request. So that's a good, and that's a feature request because it's, you know what? Here, I'm going to make a note right now while we're talking about this.
Yeah.
So, Leticia, if you can go back to where William's comments at and just see if there's any other ones.
Will do.
Let me know while I'm making some notes here.
Yeah,
So
and that's
William,
an option that feature request that has been put in during the town hall. So that is on the list. I know that. Type of meeting. Do you have to have a?
Okay, so I got your note. Thank you for that request, William. Let's see. So Scott's asking this question: can you make adjustments for your future streamer live and get that out of focus microphone out of the view of the camera. Okay, me. I'll see if I can move this. I mean, it's an arm, and I have, so this is a signal booster, this red thing. So I'll have to like maybe see if I can have a different way to set this up.
I like it in the camera because my mic is in the camera too.
Yeah. So I'll do my best to figure that out. But yeah, it's something. I mean, I'll probably end up putting it on an arm, I think, or sorry, on a mic stand, to maybe get it out of the way. So I'll see what I can do. Can't guarantee anything, but I'll see what I can do.
I think it's more about, sound is very much so important when you're streaming. So it's I have to have a mic in front of me because it just makes my sound better. I've seen people, when I looked at my analytics, people stay on longer because my sound, they can hear me better, so I'm more clearer. So I think that's why we have mics on our lives, because we appreciate our audience really hearing us without all the background noise and stuff.
So I have a question here from Joey Basta real quick, and then Andrew, you're coming on. So I'm going to let you answer this one, Leticia.
Question: can we add Facebook groups to the places in StreamYard that we can live stream to? Absolutely. You just go into destinations, or when you're about to go live, there's a feature, a plus sign at the top where you could just add the group that you want to stream in. So absolutely, you can go live. If you have, I think it depends on your package too. If you're in one package where you can only stream up to so many different destinations, but let's say you have more destinations to stream on, then you just need to upgrade and update your StreamYard package. Okay, and I'm gonna scroll down.
And I also got another request. So we got a let's see, who is this? So we had Charlene was asking if we can. I assume you mean, can we do live stream reviews in Chinese? I think. So I made a note.
I don't know.
But yeah, so I made a note, and if you can just clarify if that's what you're asking for, live stream reviews in Chinese, let me know. Or what?
You could do live stream reviews in Chinese.
Okay, explain.
No, the person who's asking.
Yeah.
You could create your show and reach out to your audience of I was just thinking that's normally when I see that somebody don't have something, I'm like, hey, maybe I'll be the first to have that option.
Yeah, no, definitely. So good question. Okay, so let's bring on Andrew. Andrew, I think we've had you on before, actually. So it's good to see you.
Yeah, that name sounds familiar.
So Andrew, thanks a lot for being patient and for joining us.
Oh, from Jamaica.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah.
So tell viewers, who are you? Tell viewers who you are, and then tell them a little bit about yourself and what your show is about, and then what your question is.
Okay, awesome. So I'm Andrew Fairman. I operate Talent Box Jamaica, which is actually an executive search and placement firm, basically in HR. And for the past couple of months, we've been very much interested in starting our own live show, live stream, to kind of engage our audience, and actually to be the voice of everything as it relates to HR, recruitment, as well as to offer job seeker advice, for locals here in Jamaica and in the Caribbean as well. And I think we're on our 5th episode, if I'm not mistaken. It's been going quite well. But I have a few questions. First one is the question of background lighting. I've been trying to, in fact, I've been on various live stream, and I've seen where the host or the producer, they have really, really great background lighting. It looks absolutely amazing. And so I've been wondering, how can I do that? And I bought, I think, 2 or 3 bulbs. I bought the Wi-Fi bulb, and I didn't get it right. In fact, I bought something before that and it didn't work. And then I bought the Wi-Fi bulb and it didn't work. And I'm like, and I've been just watching YouTube videos, but seems like I'm just missing something. I don't know if it's too simple or if it's too complicated, but I've just been missing something. I've never been able to get that correct. So what advice do you have for me that regard. And I think I have 2 more questions.
Go ahead, Leticia.
Well, didn't you mention that you normally do your streams outside, or do you do it inside?
And what do you mean by that?
Where do you normally go live at? Is it inside your home or outside your home?
Inside now. Before I was on the veranda, but now I'm actually inside because there's times, you know, the noise, etc. So I'm right here at home doing it.
So are they using a green screen, or is it just they have sort of like a wallpaper, like a slide down?
Yeah, no, this is actually my actual screen. So it's not a green screen or anything. I thought about that as well. I thought about getting a green screen, and then I'm like, no, let's just be real as real can be. But I've thought about getting a green screen.
So what type of lighting do you have now?
So this is a ring light that I bought that I'm using, and then I have additional lights that I could turn on as well. But then I also have the Wi-Fi bulb, as we call them, that I could change. So I could put it behind me, and it could probably turn purple or red or green or whatever. I'm just trying to get a really nice background lighting, you know, because I think here in Jamaica, a lot of people are streaming, but they're not really showing up unless it's a really great company. Everybody's just showing up with just this regular lighting. So I want to actually be different. So when people come onto the show, they're like, wow, I've never seen this before. And I think that will do something for the brand and something for me. You know, I can't get it right.
Yeah, well, I've seen people have like 2 ring lights just pointing like diagonally to their wall behind them, and then they'll have a primary light facing over them. So that could be an option that you can use. I mean, you can even do things like with soft boxes and things like that. But you mentioned that other people are streaming. Are they showing up to the other people's streams for their content or for their overall aesthetic? Because really people show up for the content, really. Because I don't want you to like venture away from that.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think they're showing up for the content because given my audience, if you're talking crap, then they probably will not return. And I think I've had some constant you know, listeners and viewers, but most of my viewers, they're actually corporate. So whilst the content is valuable, they will also pay attention to the aesthetic as well, you know. And so I don't want, if that makes sense.
So what type of mic you're using right now?
Let's talk this real quick, actually. Yes, because
let's talk about. I think it's the mic thing for you right now.
So
okay, so this is I don't remember what this one called actually. Is this
Can you take off the thing on top of the mic? This thing.
Yeah. So I don't remember. I didn't know.
I think you're speaking into the wrong. Yeah, I think he's speaking to the wrong. I think you're speaking into the wrong side of the mic.
Exactly. So I'm gonna. Just
yes, I might be using actually this.
Yes. So I got a couple of things for you. So for starters, I wouldn't use AirPods at all for a live stream.
No.
Because it's going to necessarily, so you're going to get the headphones, but it may, depending on the way you're connecting, it may be trying to pick up the mic that's in there. I would always try to just plug in a pair of in-ear monitors or headphones, typically without a mic, for example, on it. So that's the first thing. Second thing though is, you know, and we've got quite a few comments actually as you've been chatting. So like Michael Daniels says, like, it sounds like you're speaking into your webcam mic. So that's one thing you're going to want to check in your StreamYard dashboard. Go into StreamYard, click on cam mic and click on audio and check what mic you have set. That's the next thing. And then Tommy makes a fantastic recommendation. This recommendation, you know, by the way, is, sorry, I got that unchecked. It's a great suggestion. So you're talking to us about lighting and background. And I heard this when you came on also. I would recommend also to what Tommy's saying here to get sound panels
Yeah.
and put that up, because it sounds like you're in a room that's either a really big room or you don't have carpets and things like that on the floors and walls. And so as you're speaking, it's
Yeah.
definitely going all over the place. And that's actually making it hard for people to follow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would
Oh,
actually
okay.
improve that instead of trying to improve the background first.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I asked like what type of mic you're using,
Okay.
because and then I asked about what is the differentiation between you and everyone else who's streaming now in Jamaica, but it's your sound. So like when I first purchased this mic, I was using it wrong. I was using it like this, like I was talking into it, but my mic is pointy. So I speak into my mic on the side where I have.
Yeah, do me a favor. Yeah, do this. Like Leticia, talk into your mic from different angles. For example, I can't hear you at all. I don't know.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm actually turned my mic around.
Okay.
So does it sound?
Okay.
Does it sound different?
It does.
Now, when I turn it this way, it changes the sound completely. So I was using it all wrong. So I improved just that little, and then I had to get a brand new USB cord because it wasn't matching. Ooh, it plugged out.
Yeah.
It plugged
You
out.
said something about sound. Did you say sound panels or something? So the room is big. So how could I improve the
Acoustics.
sound? Is there a software that I need to get?
By the way, Leticia, I think your mic unplugged, so you may want to either maybe refresh or just check your settings. But Andrew, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So for starters, some different ways you could do that. So for starters, putting carpet down on the ground. That's one way. So like for example, if you're in a tiled room, carpet's going to deaden some of that sound. I would say I have a good sort of funny comment from NLTMW. He says, "Hey, just put laundry on the floor. No one can see it anyway." But putting something like that on the floor, putting something like that should help. I think the other thing also is depending on the ceiling. So like if you're in a place that's got really high ceilings, the sound, for example, is traveling up and out, for example, versus being in a contained area. That's something you need to definitely pay attention to. Again, to Michael's point as well, also make sure you're using the right mic.
Yes.
So I don't know if you want to take like while we're talking with you, why don't you do this? Because we can hear what your mic sounds like right now. Go into your cam mic settings and go to audio and see what mic and what speakers you're using there.
Yeah, let's do that. How do I sound, Christian? That sound better?
Leticia sounds good, yes.
Awesome.
Okay. So reason why I'm using this one, Christian, is
Can't hear.
my cell phone.
Okay, so you're using your cell phone. Yes. Okay. So here's the thing though. Okay, so if those are Apple AirPods and you're using it with an iPhone, it should still maintain that connection, but it definitely did change. So I think part of it is you're using your cell phone. That's part of the thing. Yes.
Yeah.
So let's see what it can adjust here. Do what?
I think I probably lost connection. Are you hearing me, by the way?
You sound better.
Hear, yes.
What do you do?
I think you disconnected the headphones is what you did.
Oh, okay.
The other thing also though, so I'm just going to throw this out there. So you have an external mic that will not work with your phone. So it's to Tommy's point as well. Is it just a prop or what? Because so like you can't use, like, for example, this microphone I'm using now doesn't work with a smartphone. Your smartphone will always default to the internal mic because of how you have to build the software.
Yeah.
So it's gonna default to the internal mic. So if you plug that microphone into so if he plugs that microphone into his phone or tries to, it's not going to work. There's no sound going to go through it. So that's one thing to also keep in mind. I mean, primarily, so you should be using a desktop or a laptop for streaming.
Yeah.
The phone, like if you need to join from a phone, okay, yeah, you can join from the phone, but remember you're going to have limited equipment at that point.
That's right. Very true.
Here's a question, by the way. Do you need a speaker with the microphone? Leticia, do you want to take that?
Speaker with the microphone. I don't like to hear from the speaker. I like to have at least headphones, because what I've noticed whenever I would have, like if I didn't have these headphones and we were just talking from my computer speaker, my mic will pick up and it will feel like a little bit of an echoing noise. So I just like to plug in headphones in my ear and just have it set up that way. Does that answer your question, USA live stream? So I would rather have a headphones. I would rather have headphones on and speak into my mic that way.
Yeah. And you have to look at the way it's set up as well. So for example, I'm using the Rodecaster Pro and I have I have more than 2 headphones, but there's 4 inputs for headphones for listening to the channel, but then there's a main headphone connection as well. And so I'm plugged into the main one. So I'm hearing myself talk and I'm hearing Leticia. However, if I only plugged into like the one channel, I would be able to hear Leticia, but I wouldn't be able to hear myself. So I kind of have to trust that it's actually working.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and by the way, I'm trying to see if Tommy, who has been offering some great acoustic recommendations. I'm trying to see if Tommy would actually take a couple of minutes and join us.
Yes, join us.
See if he could actually join. That would actually be really awesome.
And it's a good thing that you guys actually go into like a place that sells like a guitar store, a place like that, because I know for us, we run to Amazon and sometimes you may get the incorrect equipment. It's good to talk to somebody about it.
Yeah. And, and Adam makes also makes a point about like plugging in a microphone made for smartphone. Yeah, that's something to keep in mind. If you are going to try, again, I mean, if you're using it outside of StreamYard, yes, you can plug in a microphone made for a smartphone, and you'll want to do that to make sure that you're plugging the right kind of mic. Just because it's a mic doesn't mean that it's going to necessarily work.
That's right. Very true.
You do have to pay attention to that. So in the Shure MB88, for example, there are, it's a good little microphone, but there are some concerns with some of the Shure products in the sense that some of them don't necessarily work with certain apps because of how they kind of have to do things. So like they might work for just their app, or just because, here's the other thing, just because you plug it in doesn't mean that it actually picked up the microphone. Sometimes you have to restart the microphone. Sometimes you have to restart the device and then don't open anything else, plug the microphone in, and then it should work.
Yeah.
But that's if you're using certain apps. It doesn't always work. For example, StreamYard, it's going to pick up the internal mic regardless of what you plug in.
Yeah.
And then also to calm down Rich's question. And by the way, Tommy, if you can join us, I'd love that. If you could,
that'd be amazing, Tommy.
So USB mics are directly to computer. XLR also need an interface like a Focusrite to be connected to the computer. Yes. So you may need that as well if you're going to connect an XLR mic or a USB mic to your computer. So lots of good tips here, actually. And let me go through some of these comments. I see Darren's here as well. So Darren, I don't know if I think you're going to talk hopefully audio. So we're going to bring him on. Leticia, I'll let you talk with Darren while I go through some of these comments.
Cool. Awesome.
Darren, good to see you again.
Everyone. How are you? Good. Always watching, not always on, but always watching.
And do me a favor, hold on before. Yeah. So Darren has like his audio sounds amazing, right? And you're not doing anything special. That's your voice. So it's pretty darn awesome. I mean, I know it's like, it sounds very soothing.
Yes.
But let's talk like audio. Do you have any recommendations for people?
Well, you know what it is? The first thing to always take into consideration when we're doing this is get started with what you've got. Don't worry about, the level of microphone that we have and stuff like that. Get started with what you've got. You can stream off your camera or your phone's microphone. You can use your phone as a camera, and that's all you're seeing. I took a moment to set this up because, hi there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Different things you can do with OBS and StreamYards together, getting your logo in the corner and, being able to do opening scenes and stuff like that. That didn't turn out very well now, did it? Now, see, I got my logo all messed up here, but that's because I've just captured one of I put up my webpage, my YouTube page on another window and then cropped to my logo so I can get that logo in there. I should actually find a way to get that loaded into StreamYards. But here's the thing. I'm so cheap and I am using free StreamYards. So with free StreamYards, you can't send in your artwork and then have it just like play back. Like you can't put your clips in and whatnot because you're using you're cheap. So you got to find other ways. So if you want to find other ways, you can use free OBS and free voice meter and free StreamYards and still put together quite a presentation. Now, sound wise, I was going to say right at the very beginning, I had a tablet. I still have it. And in fact, it's,
yeah.
I talk about not working well. This is a tablet and it's got tape on it because its screen is broken and all that. But in the plug, as Christian was saying, the plug has both a microphone and the headphones in it. And that's what makes it a little different. And like a cell phone plug, you can get an adapter from Headset Buddy. And when you plug it in, it separates the headphones from the microphone. So you can actually plug in your headphones. And then there's another plug where you can choose to plug in another microphone. And on my channel, I have a very old video where I took a microphone that I bought at the thrift store that was $4.99 and plugged it into this feed from this cable from Headset Buddy. And it actually sounded all right. And it let me hold the microphone. It was a Sony plastic microphone, but it had the same shape as an expensive microphone, so it looked good. And that would allow you to actually just get sound into a tablet or phone with a very inexpensive, simple microphone, giving you a headset to use as well. But you do need to be able to separate the elements that are in that plug because headphones and microphone are in there. And if you look at the plug that goes in there, it's got an extra stripe on it. It's got an extra conductor in it for the microphone. So it's got like 4 as opposed to 3 because normally it's a ground and left and right. That's headphones, but you've got a ground, left and right, and another. So you've got to find a way to break that apart so you can use them separately. And this little $20 cable plugs into the device, be it a tablet or a phone, and then separates headphone from microphone into 2 separate plugs. So that's what gives you some flexibility, lets you plug in an external mic, have external headphones, and still be streaming from a phone or a tablet.
Yeah.
So otherwise, that's a good place to start. It's inexpensive. We've all got phones. And like I always say, get started with what you've got.
That's right.
There's no reason to wait. StreamYards makes it easy. These guys come every week and give you all the tips you need to get started. Implement a new tip, once a week, and you're golden.
That's right.
Hey, I don't know. I don't like it when the stuff behind me is the wrong direction. There we go. flip the camera.
You got a lot of fans, but there are a lot of people saying, "Hey,
they love
you
your
sound
voice.
like a radio announcer." So, thank you for jumping on and helping with providing that tip. And I dropped a link to Headset Buddy as well. It's a good recommendation.
Yes.
I read one when I was 18, 19 years old. I went to broadcast school in British Columbia, the British Columbia Institute of Technology. And at one class, the announcing class, they made us read one commercial. And I've never, ever, ever had it leave my head since then. Would you like to hear the Bartlett Pear commercial?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Now's the time to serve and preserve BC brand Bartlett pears. BC Bartletts are wondrously juicy, marvelously sweet, and so easy to preserve. They're at peak of season prices now, and that means extra savings. Don't let the Bartlett pear season go by without serving your family fresh BC Bartletts often. The Bartlett Pear commercial.
Yes. They love it.
All right, folks, it's been a pleasure. I'm sure you've got others and lots of other important things to say, but StreamYards, start with StreamYards. Get yourself a tablet and a phone, and that's what you have to say. We want to hear from all of you.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
So we'll see you next in 2 weeks, actually. So so that was Darren. Darren comes on quite a bit, and he always is recommending, start what you've got.
Yep.
So if you don't have, if you have a mic, you don't need to go buy another mic necessarily. Just learn how to use the one you have, and then grow from there off of the equipment. So I'm going to run through some of these questions, by the way. So we've got Brian Kelly. Good to see you, by the way. So good to see you, Brian, as well. I was on one of his shows earlier this week. let's see. We have Rena. Can you stream to a Facebook group with an access code without going live? You need to stream. So in order to get the link to stream, to get it over to Facebook, for example, you do have to go live.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no way to stream to a group without going live. Like when you ask about streaming, you're going live.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have to do that. Let me see what else we got. So let me get this feature request from Lillian.
Thank you, USA Today.
What do you have?
He said, great live. USA Live said, USA Live. Sorry, I said USA Today. USA Live said, great live.
Let's see. Lillian, I'll make sure I put your request for hearing impaired. We'll work on that as well. Okay, let me see what else we got here. Sorry, and I'm sorry. I need a moderator.
You're doing good. You're doing good.
Let's see.
Someone was feature request dark mode.
Okay. Yep. So, okay, I'll make a note.
Yeah,
okay.
I have dark mode on everything. I have dark mode on my cell phone, on my Facebook.
Yeah.
So I like that option.
By the way, Tommy, I'll make one more request. Maybe if you can join us on screen, I'd love it. That way, you can talk about some of those audio issues, things people need some help with.
They want to know if you change your camera, Christian.
No, nothing's changed. No.
Okay.
So, no, all the same. I mean, I literally just put it on. Yeah, haven't changed anything. I mean, so that's about the extent of things.
Yes.
So, okay, so let me go through these. And remember, if you want to join us backstage, I dropped the link. Okay, so here I'm going to bring on Habib, Leticia, and we'll go through some more of the questions as well. So,
absolutely,
Habib, thanks a lot for joining. How we doing?
Thank you very much for inviting me and giving me opportunity to join you. I am Habib Manjota from Lahore, Pakistan, and I am using StreamYard since the start of this year, and I am interviewing great people around me in Urdu language. And my question is, sometimes my mic does not work well, and I am working on this PC. I am using Linux, and the problem is Voicemeeter does not work with it. So is there any option to make voice clear with my mic?
Voicemeeter. So you said you're using Voicemeeter, right? Or you're trying to use Voicemeeter?
Yes, I am trying to, but my operating system is Linux, and it is not supporting Voicemeeter because it is for Windows.
Right. Okay. So let me see something. I don't use Linux, but I think we're gonna have to come up with my first recommendation would be to not use Linux. But that's because you're gonna severely limit the software that you can use.
Yes.
Let me see what we can. I haven't actually looked up to see if there's any options for a Linux alternative, but let me see what we can find real quick. Because that's the thing, you're gonna need to find something that's gonna work like that. So let's see. And hopefully the software is still good as well. Let's see. There's something called QJack Control. It says that allows you to route audio and MIDI around. I don't know if you checked that out, maybe, Habib. And granted, it's about 5 years old, so it might not be around. Let's see. What is this one? Yeah, Jack, actually. Yeah, so that seems like the only option that's available. So I would, since you're running Linux, or also maybe try like something called Pulse Audio. I'm not sure if those would help you. You can come off mute if you want. Go ahead. Come or here, I'll unmute you. Let me see. Habib, you want to come back on? You're muted.
Oh, sorry, I
No,
muted
no worries.
myself. Are you listening me properly? Is there any kind of noise with my sound?
There is noise. Yes, I'm hearing
Yeah,
like
there is.
like some crackling. That could be maybe the mic is not connected. Are you on a phone or are you on a
It
tablet?
sounds
or
like the
laptop?
sync is on.
Well, I am on PC, and here is my mic. It is away from me a little bit. Can you see it?
Yeah, that's quite a ways away. Can
Okay.
you put it just do this just as a test, like get closer to your mic. See, just put it in front of you just to see how it sounds.
Okay, I am trying to put it in front of me, and it is now in front of me.
I'm still hearing like a,
I hear it sounds like the sync is on.
and that could very well be the headphone cable, maybe.
Well,
I'm hearing
maybe.
interference, basically, is what I'm hearing.
Okay. There is a fan also making too much noise. Fan of my laptop.
Okay, so it very well could be that as well. Yes.
And there is no button to close it off because it is cooling down the machine.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So part of it, okay, so that's going to get into the positioning of the microphone. So I would say this: if your microphone, for example, I'm going to move my microphone away from me. It's over my computer. As you can see, there's, probably doesn't sound as good, right? And if the mic is over my computer, and then like the fan is actually going on, the microphone is going to pick up that noise. So I would say maybe try to adjust how you're doing things. Like, for example, I don't know what kind of mic that was, but I want to say it's a shotgun mic, which it's going to pick up all of the noise around you.
Yes, you can see this.
Yeah.
Well,
do me a favor, bring that up to your mouth and just speak into it. Bring it like.
Okay. Hello, Christian. How are you?
That sounds better.
Yes, that sounds a lot better.
Well, it means I should buy a stand for this mic and keep it close to my mouth.
Perfect.
Because I think that's a positioning thing. I think the issue is the mic is positioned. Because if you move it back to where it was at, I bet the audio noise is going to come out.
It was.
Yep.
Now
there you go.
it is here.
Yes. So that's one thing you are going to want to consider. Like if you happen to have, and that's where there's different types of mics. So making sure like that mic sounds great when you move it away from the fan. But the good thing is now there's a fan noise that's being picked up by the mic.
Mm-hmm.
So we just need to move the mic closer to us. And then that way it's going to not be right there on top of the computer audio.
Right.
Okay. I am thankful to you, all of you. You are doing well and guiding me along the way in this journey. I am. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
I see you all the times, but it is first time I have joined you to discuss this problem.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And someone
Thank you
suggested
very
you
much.
should get a boom arm.
Yeah.
Okay, and I would like to connect with Leticia later. Is there any way to connect because you are connected from YouTube?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm on Instagram. That's my handle. So yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And Christian, you are kindly pronounce your name. I could not.
It's Karasiewicz.
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 Yes.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's
Awesome.
got lots of good questions here, by the way. I'm still going through a lot of stuff. So Eid Foundation, thanks a lot for the suggestion about stock audio. I don't know if you want to go back, if you can find that comment, Leticia, just
What was the name again?
it's EADE Foundation. If you can go back there, let me know, and I can that way we can kind of be in sync on which comments we're working on.
Got it.
So background stock audio. Okay, got that. Okay. Let me see what else we got here. So we got that. Let's see. So Dark mode, Tommy. I put in a request for dark mode. I mean, I don't know. I personally, I mean, dark mode. I'm not a dark mode person, but I get the request, so we'll make a note of that. Let's see. Joey Bast, I'm not sure what you're referring to here. You said there's a feature where another software picks up the music, video, or sound in your computer. It's really just a routing issue of like routing the correct audio into your stream. So, for example, you can use a tool like Loopback or Sound Siphon or Black Hole or Voice Meter. All of those tools, virtual audio cables, basically, where you route your sound and the applications into your broadcast, so you can create whatever mix you want there to be. So that's something to keep in mind. NLTMW, thanks for the recommendation on pen comments. William, yeah, I made your note about, and I think you're talking about live stream reviews for Chinese. Made a note for that. Let me see what else we got here. Let's see. And by the way, if anybody wants to join, they're welcome to join the stream, by the way. So just join us here. We're going to do a giveaway here shortly, by the way. So let me just go through all these comments. Let's see. Kenny, what do you said you're struggling to use the app. I'm not sure what app you're referring to. StreamYard's a browser-based software, so you join through StreamYard.com. We don't have an app. So if you happen to have downloaded something, it's not ours.
Yeah.
StreamYard in Japanese. I actually don't know because I don't know Japanese. But good question, actually.
Good question.
Let's see. Tommy, also, by the way, going back to Tommy's comments earlier about audio, if you have like sound panels, those are great ways to improve your audio. He's also talking about, though, about different mics, like dynamic mics, for example. And this is a thing, like if you have a shotgun mic or boom arm, for example, and you put that mic over top of you, like say you're filming a scene between Leticia and I, and we're talking in the same room, it's picking up us, it's picking up other noise and things like that. Versus, using the dynamic mic, like I have to have this close to me, but the benefit is it's picking up just this.
Yeah.
And if there's any noise behind me, it wouldn't be heard. So for example, I'm going to turn my microphone around and I'm going to talk, and you can hear there's a big difference there, right? There should be a big difference because the microphone is actually facing that way now.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'll turn it back around. Yeah. So there you go.
Same thing for me. If I go further away, it sounds different than when I come up close.
Yeah. So there's definitely it's something to consider about the type of microphone you're buying. Don't just buy the microphone.
Yeah.
Get the right kinds. Okay. So let's see.
Yeah. The closer, the best. Yep. Yep.
Let's see what else. Okay. Support in Chinese. Got that one as well. Just making sure I get as many questions as possible, by the way. So thank you very much. Let's see. Dark mode, another dark mode request. Got that.
Step into the darkness.
Dr. Juliet. So, if you want to come on, that would be great, actually, because I'd like to understand your use case.
Yes.
So you're asking, like, can we use Zoom with StreamYard? Because I've worked with people where they were asking about using Zoom with StreamYard, and it came down to the people they were working with didn't understand that they didn't need to use Zoom. They were really pushing it because it was like they were even tech people. They were pushing, oh, well, you should use Zoom with StreamYard. And for their application, when I talked to them, we walked through like different camera settings and things like that. And they realized they didn't need the product. So if you want to join us, that would actually be great.
Yeah.
So this way, I want to understand your use case.
Oh, someone said, can you explain about white or dark mode? USA Live asked that.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Let me get to that one real quick.
Yeah. I mean, I could put my I'm always in front of the computer all the time. So As you guys can see, I wear glasses. So white mode for me is it just irritates my eyes. So that's why on my cell phone is all dark mode. On my computer is all dark mode, because for me, my eyes just it's not, my eyes are not doing overwork. So it just depends on your personal preference. Some people, like Christian said, Christian, you don't use dark mode. It just depends on your preference, really.
Yeah, I think that's a good example. I mean, and I mean, again, like, yeah, you get a lot of people that they want it, and I mean, it doesn't bother me as much, but to Leticia's point, everyone's a little different. So I can make a note. That's basically the extent of what I can do there.
Yeah, and there's
I'm not
also
the developer, so
yeah. When I worked in, when I had a job, I just got a screen. You can get a screen. It's not a screen protector. It's like a thing that goes over your computer, and it just dims down the computer more. So that's something that you can buy just in case you're using like StreamYard, which does not have the dark mode feature. You can just purchase something. I think I got it for like $25, and you just got to make sure the measurements are correct, and that can also help as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a couple. I'm getting near the bottom of the comments.
Almost there.
So let's see. So Flash in your pan got your comment about being able to integrate StreamYard with OBS. Definitely, I'll put that in there as a feature request. Let me see what else we have here. Armando is asking, with a specific iPhone 11 mic from Sweetwater, no adapter, StreamYard. Yes, it will still use the internal mic. And that's because of the fact that it's going through the browser, and the browser doesn't give you access to the additional mic. Like, that's the iPhone, at least.
Yeah.
So, and so like you do have to just keep in mind. One thing I do, by the way, I usually use a program called like Filmic Pro for any sort of video recording. And so I can open that. See, Leticia takes some notes as well. So I use that. And what I do is if I ever plug in a mic and I'm like, oh, I want to see what mic is actually being used. It's a fantastic application for recording videos. People actually shoot full length movies on it.
Yeah.
And it actually will then let me go in and toggle my video and my audio. It also has the ability to do clean HDMI, so you can use it as a webcam as well if you want to use that as well. But that's a way I use to check what audio source is there, and then I flip over to something else, and I can see it basically disappear.
Yeah. And you can absolutely change your Dimebag said you can change your mic source in StreamYard. That's very true.
Yeah. Let's see. Consider your participants talk to themselves backstage, so they can use the private chat feature to be able to talk with one another.
I would prefer that they just use the chat than talk, because if they're talking and it's in my ear and I'm trying to host, y'all could talk in the chat. It's distracting.
Let's see. And if other people already jumped in, sorry, if I'm repeating some of the questions people are asking.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Adam's exploits. I have to put my mouth about 2 inches from my mouth because I stream from a dining room and I don't want to use a boom arm. Yep.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, there's different ways to do it. I mean, like you can get, people using lavalier. So if you're going to use a lavalier, make sure you have the right amount of power for that and then position it correctly. Again, dynamic mic, condenser mics, it also depends on your setup. So like if you're in a room that is a very noisy room, like you're going to want a dynamic mic, because then it's going to pick up this primarily versus everything else that's going on around you.
And you may not hear it, but the people watching will hear. Like when I first came on, Christian was hearing the noise out in the street, but I couldn't hear it because you know what I mean? Yeah. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. And let me see. So
yes, you're right, Dimebag. You don't want people to have debates off camera. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, let me see. So I see Alexis. I'm not sure did we have Alexis on earlier, Leticia?
I think we did. It was the first one. First person.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll bring you back on, Alexis. I'm not sure what your question is, but happy to answer it. So bring you on. Just ask your question, and then if it's not something I know or can understand, maybe run it through Google Translate if possible.
Yes.
That would be helpful, and I'll be happy to answer it. Okay, Alexis, good to see you. Do you have a question?
I don't think it's
okay. Well,
yeah. Ask it in the chat, Alexis. Ask it in the chat.
Okay. Let me see what else we have here. Lots of questions here, by the way. Can you put in a request to make round corner video? Already did that, Joey. Got it. Noted.
It's in there.
So, in the meantime, I would say that's probably a theme, a theme recommendation. And so, what I did was I put that in there. I'd say in the meantime, what I would do is I would use, as I mentioned, Easel, Canva, PicMonkey. What else? Photoshop, Pixlr. Am I forgetting any of the ones? But basically, I would create an overlay with just the two, and you can add the corners to your overlay if you want to, even if it's just to add corners. And that way it can give it a bit of a rounded effect. Like put it in there so that the video feed comes in and the cutouts are actually there. Let me see what else.
I like Claim's comment. He said mini boom mic stand. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Mini boom mic stand.
Yeah. No, I have a mic stand that I use as well. What I actually was doing, this was before I got my actual arm for my camera. I had my camera connected to my mic, put on my mic stand. So then that way it gave me more height so I could get the camera right in front of me.
But wasn't you further away from the mic then? Oh no, the mic was
for the camera. It was just for the camera. I left the mic like it was, but I didn't have a way to position the camera high enough. It was either really far away, and I wanted closer. Before my arm came in. I was putting it on a mic stand.
Yes.
But yeah, so they can perform like multiple like things. The thing is, you need adapters for the most part for the top of them. That stuff. David Kennedy, you said something about will StreamYard be compatible? Not sure what compatible with. Not really sure, but let us know. Oh, okay. So you're talking about the MV. Here we go. It was before that. An MV88 for live stream on Facebook. Yeah. Some of the Shure microphones just don't work with Facebook. So it comes down to Shure, for example, I think has to release a driver that'll make it work. So for the most part, it should work. But again, it depends on what you're trying to use it with. So I try to stick to, I would say in the meantime, like you may need a different mic.
Yeah.
If you're like really set on like wanting to use that, and it's not obviously, I mean, you're going to have to wait until they release something to update it.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
USA live stream said, how far are you host in your desktop? What does that mean?
Let me find that one. How far are you hosting your desktop? I'm not really sure actually. So USA live stream, can you clarify that? I'm not really sure what that question is. I'm not sure if that's asking how far ahead can you host your live stream on your desktop, or if it's a totally different question.
Distance.
So you're asking from a mic standpoint or what? Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
And yeah, David, yeah, so the MV88, like it may not, it could be an iOS thing. I'm not sure exactly what that is. It could be iOS, it could be Facebook. So it could be Shure. So some of the devices, I know as the operating system is updated, and I'm not really sure how old the MV88 Plus is. Let me see.
Is that a microphone he's saying? The
Yeah.
MV88? Oh, okay.
Let's see. So it's a couple years old. Yeah, I mean, and that's an expensive mic kit. I mean, it's $250, but that's for a tripod, a stand, and a mic. I'm not sure why that wouldn't work, but it comes down to, I mean, if it's Facebook just may not want it to work, and they control that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, if it's not working, also one of the thing, if it's plugging in via cable, I would always try a new cable before I say like, hey, it doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, I would even contact Shure and ask that, like, if Shure is, if you've gone through like Shure's help support or their online support, like, and they've said, hey, it doesn't work, maybe get a second opinion from Shure as well, just to see if there's an issue there. They might be able to let you know.
Right, right.
But yeah, so let's see. Got a couple more questions here. Let's see. Yeah, Tommy, you're right. Like platform has nothing to do with mic compatibility. Mics need to set up in stream platforms and PCs. Yeah. And a lot of people aren't doing the, it's not just about like connecting it. It's connecting and then making sure it sounds right and tuning it properly.
Absolutely.
So let's see. NLTMW, yeah, thanks a lot for the suggestion on requesting separate audio channels for like a producer to talk to guests. Definitely something to consider.
Oh yes, that'd be a great option.
Let's see. Let me see what else we got here. Yeah. Oh, another thing for creating transparent shapes. You can use Inkscape, according to Neil's World. So again, lots of options for creating those overlays.
That's
Now,
right.
remember, this is about your show. So if you have any questions on your show, like I'm not getting viewers, for example, or or I'm getting viewers, how do I handle this? What's the best way to do this? Definitely come on. We want to talk to you.
Yep.
So I'm going to drop the link to join us.
Yes. If you have a current show right now and you need advice on how to improve it, come on the screen, come on the panel with us.
Yeah. And then I know, so going back to USA live streams question about like distance, it's going to partly depend on the microphone. So like my microphone is about 2 inches from my mouth. So Leticia, yours is probably the same, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's about 2 inches from my mouth as well.
Yeah. So, and it's going to come down to the type of mic you're using, and you can hear the difference. Like if I'm speaking into the mic this way, it sounds different than speaking this way or speaking this way. Like you can hear that, but not as well. So it's going to depend on the mic you're using as far as how far you need to set it.
And you just got to test it out too. Like do like a test live and just play around with it to see. Because for me, it had a lot to do with where I was talking in to the mic from, and I had to change the cord. So this cord that I'm using did not come with the mic. I had to purchase it separately.
Yeah. Let me see. Oh, and Darren makes a good point. The closer you can get the mic, the lower you can keep the mic sensitivity, the less background noise you get. Yep, absolutely. Because it's going to come down to different kinds of mics. If you're using the shotgun mic, they all have different purposes. This is why we also like, we're not telling you to get stuff, but like you need to make sure you're using the right kind of mic for the equipment or for the job you're doing. So it's the same concept of you want to build a house, you have tools for specific jobs.
Right.
So
that's
like,
true.
There's you want to like hammer a nail and you're not going to go grab a screwdriver. You're going to grab a nail a hammer. So, you want to make sure you're picking the right tool for the job. Same thing for mics. And there are places that rent equipment. I've also given the recommendation to go to like a Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero. Sorry. A Guitar Center. Sorry, man.
Yeah, I sounds like that, dude.
By the way, Neil's World. Yeah, if you want to join us here, apparently you're in India. I think that's cool.
Awesome.
So just join us here.
Yep. Use the right tool to get the right job done. That's right. Yeah, you're right. USA live stream said it seems like almost everyone's concern is audio. Yeah, good audio does improve your show. Since we're talking about live stream reviews, that's one good way to improve your show and get more people listening longer is correcting your audio. Because I'm be honest, when I'm listening to a live stream, I'm doing other things. I'm washing dishes. I'm, writing stuff down. So my phone is necessarily like face up. I'm not really always looking at the actual stream. So we also got to be, and some people are driving while they're listening to you as well. So yeah, audio is something that you want to make sure that you perfect more than the overlays and all that other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, J-Vlog, yeah, good points. Omnidirectional, unidirectional, yep. If you want to talk, come on.
Come on.
If you want to come on, like, we can keep this going. We can, I'd actually love it if people came on and just talk for, 30 seconds and we could kind of critique your mic setup. Because it does sound like, as Leticia mentioned, a lot of people seem to have audio issues or audio questions.
Yep.
So I'd love to have like everyone, if you want to join us, click this link to join us. And then we can, critique your audio. And here's the thing. It's not to critique it because like, oh, hey, we want to like no one's going to make fun of you or any of that stuff.
Nope.
We want to, like, the goal is to help you. So if you're live stream, for example, and you come on, like we had Andrew come on earlier, and what did we realize? You know, we weren't really sure, but it sounded like, hey, he had a prop mic maybe, and he was using his phone. I couldn't tell he was using his phone necessarily. It actually looked pretty good.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't tell he was using his phone, and yet he was trying to run that other mic, and that mic is clearly not going to work. So, so I want to hear what everyone's mic sounds like as well. So if you have, you know, if you want to come on, join us, please.
Absolutely. I like how a flash in the pane said content is king and audio is queen. I like that. Gotta have great content. Gotta focus on coming up with great content and then making sure your sound is good.
We got JP here. I'm going to bring JP on. JP is coming on quite a bit. And this is good. We always love having JP join us. So JP, we're going to have you join us. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about. I don't know if you're going to share a tip or if we're going to do an audio test, but glad to have you on. So welcome, JP.
Leticia, Christian.
How we doing?
It says JP, but yes, it is the J Vlog. The J Vlog. I'm the guy that you see the comments down there.
That's right.
Nice.
So how's the audio? How's the audio sound? Is my audio okay?
No, it's actually
it's not matching with
out
your
of
lips.
sync actually.
I'm out of sync. Okay, so let's do this. Camera mic. Let's do audio.
And explain what you're doing, by the way, so in case other people have the same issue.
Okay, so I'm in the cog wheel and I'm selecting the microphone.
Okay, so you're in the cogwheel, meaning you're in StreamYard, right?
Yep, I'm in the StreamYard, selecting the microphone. I'm changing the microphone. Am I in sync now? How's it going? 3, 2, 1. Does it look okay?
Perfect. Yeah.
Yep.
So
much better.
That is going to be an issue with you guys who are using a pass-through system, whereas the software has to encode it as opposed to just sending the signal directly. You got to think about that, because there's a funny little thing called bit rate, and if you don't have that bit rate right, you are going to get some lag.
Oh.
Not going to be pleasant, as you have just seen.
So what kind of mic are you using? Because I know, like, we got Tommy here saying it sounds like you're 10 feet away, echo and airy.
Yes. Right now I'm using a Blue Yeti.
Okay.
Do I still sound echo and airy? Because I eliminated the pass-through. The Blue Yeti, and I broke it out, is currently about, if I'm sitting here, 21 inches away from me.
You sound good.
So on your side, it sounds good.
If you happen to go type on a keyboard, and I want to demonstrate this. So if you type on a keyboard, chances are that mic's going to pick.
It's going to pick it up. The Blue Yeti picks up everything.
Oh.
I'm not impressed with the Blue Yeti, because even though it's on, I mentioned this in the chat, omnidirectional versus unidirectional.
Yeah, let's talk. What is omnidirectional and unidirectional?
Yeah.
Omnidirectional means it's going to pick up the entire room. So it's like you're doing a podcast and you put the mic in the center of the table.
Okay.
So everybody can hear it. Unidirectional means it's pointed right at you, and it's only supposed to, air quotes there, pick up what's in that direction, one direction. So mine's set on unidirectional, but Blue Yeti especially, is notoriously bad for picking up everything in the room. Everything.
So if somebody happens to have one of those, how can they improve that, or what can they do to improve that?
Oh, God.
Like, did they need to get a? Did they need to put like a boom arm, for example? Did they put a boom arm on it? Like
a boom arm will help. Yes. Getting the mic closer to you will help. Yes, as long as it's on the unidirectional setting. It's still going to pick up lots. So you got to be in a really, really quiet area. So kick the dog out. Kick the partner out. Make sure that the neighbor upstairs is, he's gone to work when you're doing your thing. So it's an incredibly sensitive mic. It's made, the Blue Yeti is made for the hobbyist, not the professional.
Oh.
It does a good job. It does a really good job, but it's not on par with the podcasters and stuff like that.
Okay. So what do you recommend this for? So Prairie Life,
that I don't know. That would be up to the audience because I am still, like I like my Blue Yeti, but it's, I wish I could get something better. I'm personally thinking of going with the Rode Wireless Go and just having a lapel.
So like one of these,
like a lavalier.
I was thinking about doing that too.
Yeah, you're talking about like these, right?
Yeah, because especially if you're traveling as well, it'd be a good idea. So you don't have to.
Yep. So these are the Rode Wireless Go.
Yep, that's it.
Yep. You got receiver and mic, and then you have as well the nice little cover that's going to go on top of these. Fuzzy windjammer. It's going to clip right on the top. And then that's going to help eliminate some of the noise, not all of it.
Okay.
But it should eliminate a good bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
So this literally clips right on the top so that it sits like that.
Yeah.
So
you can also attach that to your belt, and then you can have the cabled lapel mic to it as well.
Oh. Yeah, because go ahead.
On top of this, you can also, there's even a way to put it into a handheld mic. So you can have what looks like a handheld mic, and it's literally just this inside of it. So this is also an option. But again, these are, I think, what, $200? I think they're like
about as much as you would spend on the Blue Yeti.
Yeah,
and it's portable.
Mm-hmm. I mean, super portable. This is how portable it is.
Ooh,
so
put it right in my purse.
Yeah. By the way, Joey Bass has got a good question here, and then we're going to bring on Prairie Life because Prairie Life says she has a Blue Yeti as well, so we can talk about that.
Yeah.
So Joey says, "What's the reason for wearing headphones? Never wear them, and my videos sound okay." Now, did they sound okay, or do they like? Do you mean like, oh, they sound okay, or like, do you mean they sound great? So, or they sound good, or they sound good enough? Let us know.
Okay. One of the reasons that we wear headphones here is so we can hear each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If it's playing through our desktop speakers or something like that, then there's a good chance that our microphone's going to pick it up and we're going to get reverb.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we wear headphones. The type of headphones that you wear it's your choice. Right.
Okay.
As long as the communication is open, but we don't want that reverb, the microphone picking up what this desktop speakers are playing. Now, if you're fortunate enough that this microphone isn't picking up what the speakers are playing and you can hear it, kudos on you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And there's lots of types of headphones. I mean, for example, I've got in-ear monitors right now. But you can also go with something like this. I mean, this is your standard, these are the Apple EarPods, for example.
Mm-hmm.
You can go with these.
Mm-hmm.
I've got these as well. These are the Shure, they're Bluetooth, but they connect to my computer. So I can connect these as well for certain projects. But these are wired. And basically what I'm doing is I'm feeding them under my shirt, down my back. And in this case, I could talk on camera without having nothing against your big cans, by the way, JP. But again, you got different views of things of how you want to look on camera. So so that'd be a reason why. I mean, and to your point, I mean, it really depends on what you have. I mean, if you've got, we all have headphones lying around.
Yeah, all of us.
But yeah,
I just got mine from Walgreens. And I mainly use it just so I can hear everyone else. But if I'm just going live by myself, I won't have these on.
Yeah.
But I will still have my mic.
Yeah, that's another good point, Leticia.
Yeah.
That if you're running solo and you're live and you're just interacting with the chat, you don't need a headset at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You might want to start the stream before you click go live, have a headset on and listen to your volumes and stuff like that, and then before you go live, take them off.
That's right.
And you remember when we brought someone on earlier and we were talking and we could hear them because I don't think they had headphones on. Like that creates, for example, that made it really hard to listen to the broadcast. Like it made it hard for me to listen to that person because I was talking and I was hearing myself, and then I was also hearing their echo.
Yeah, that was
also
Sherry, yep.
her and myself. So,
Mhm.
you know, that is, you want to make sure you test out your headphones. I mean, just make sure that like wear them, hear what your broadcast sounds like. Listen to your audience. So if they're like, hey, you know, there's a problem or something like that, then, you know how to fix it as well.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, I mean, the fix might be simply just restart yourself in the studio. So like if we're in the studio right now and I have an issue, I just refresh the screen, for example, it's going to kick me out, but the stream's going to keep running.
Mhm.
So it just, you know, it's a couple seconds, quick restart. You know, if I ever need to like say like, hey, Leticia, I'm having an audio issue, I need to restart my computer, I might private message her and say, hey, you know, Leticia, I'm going to restart real quick. Can you
Mhm.
control this stream? And let her control it. Know that I'm going to restart and I'll come back in as soon as I can.
Right.
That actually leads me to a funny story, Christian.
Yeah.
Like you said, keep the flow going. So I was on a live stream. I think it was about 2 months ago, and the wife. I had 6 people on stage plus myself, so a total of 7.
Yeah.
And the wife accidentally kicked the power cable out of the wall.
Okay.
I went poof. The stream kept going.
Yeah.
By the time I got in, rebooted the PC and all that, we were still live.
Yep.
They kept it going, and I just came back in, you know, with my login code, and we just continued the stream as normal.
Yep.
And that is one of the amazing things about StreamYard. If that happened on OBS or anything else, boom, stream's dead.
Done.
You're
You have to
finished.
restart again. Mm-hmm.
Yep, you are pooched. But the fact that it kept it going because the other people were there was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and here's the thing: when people say like, hey, how do you communicate? Like, I always have a couple of things. So for example, I always have my smartphone with me. So I'm not over, as you can see, I'm not over here like texting while I'm doing this. But if I do have an issue or something like that, I'll reach out to like Leticia if I'm like, hey, I can't get something's going on with my computer, or I expect it. Like, let's say all of a sudden it's going great, and then all of a sudden, like, I just like I get that feeling like, okay, something's about to restart here. Hopefully it doesn't do that, by the way, while I'm doing this.
Windows update in the background.
Update time.
But that's where, like, that's when I would pull out my phone and I'd say, like, hey, you know, Leticia, I think I need to restart my computer. Can you please continue the broadcast? This is where you should have a producer or someone else that, you know, if you have a co-host, like that you're both in sync with what's going on, you know, if there are any concerns. So, by the way, I got a good question here from Scott, and I'm going to give Scott a few minutes to see if he would join. Hopefully he will. It's a question about handling people changing screens and views like that. Prairie Life.
Yep.
Karen, I'm going to bring you in here. 1 second.
I'm going to take off. So you bring these guys in.
Unless you want to stay on and chat. I mean, that's fine.
Well, you've got guests that can come in that you can answer.
Yeah. So real quick, well, good to have you, by the way. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Take care.
you, JP.
Hey, JP.
Thanks.
So Tommy also makes the, you know, comment, I would argue to use headphones all the time. Before I started using headphones, I had horrible voice control and voice fatigue.
Yes. Yes. I was sounding louder without the headphones. Like I would listen to my streams. I'm like, why am I so loud? And for some reason, when I have men, I'm not talking as loud.
Yep. I mean, part
like
of
I'll be screaming.
Yeah. I mean, so I mean, here's the thing, I guess. What's the reason behind why would you not wear headphones? I guess that's the other thing. Is it because I don't like putting headphones in my ears? And that's where, like, I would say, I mean, I'm not telling you guys to go buy equipment, but these are in-ear monitors versus headphones. They do sound differently. And so part of it is the quality, but like these are, I think, like $60, $70, and like these were like $30 or $40. You know, but here's the thing, they do things a little differently. So when these go in my ears, they change the profile, the way it looks, and then also they actually block out some of that noise versus if I'm using an earbud and just putting an earbud in, earbuds, they may fall out, for example, they may be uncomfortable, like that. So that's one thing. And then, you know, JP, as you saw, had the bigger over ear cans. And so that might be another reason, you know, he might like those because they do block out some of the noise.
Yep. Noise cancellation. Yep.
But the other side to all of this also is if somebody tells me like, hey, I'm not going to wear headphones because they're too short, for example, that's where I would say getting something like, hopefully I can actually let me undo this. So, if I notice like, oh, I can't move around my like chair, then I would consider getting something such as an extension cable for your audio. This allows you to run the microphone how you want it. And then it also gives you some extra cord. So I'm running a very simple, like a 6-foot audio cable. I keep it wrapped up when I don't need it. But if I need to extend it, I can easily just unravel it. So just keep in mind that. So, okay. So let's bring on Prairie Life Karen. So Karen, she was using I got the impression she was using the Blue Yeti. And I think we're going to do a little mic check here. And this is good, by the way, a little mic check.
Awesome.
So
let's do it.
Hear your audio. Let's see if we can make recommendations, whether it's room or mics or whatever.
Yeah.
So Karen, good to have you.
Hi, thanks very much.
Hello.
I've been following you guys for a long time. Like I remember when Leticia was trying to figure out what kind of microphone she was going to get. So I've been following you guys for a while. So you're doing a great job and we appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Your audio sounds really good, by the way. So you said you're using a Yeti though, right?
Yeah, Blue Yeti. It's about 9 inches from my face.
Okay. So what setting do you have it on? Because I know on the Yeti there are various settings on the top. It's like there's one that's shaped like a heart, I think.
Yeah. Just a second.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Oh, it's on the heart setting.
Perfect. So you're using the heart setting. Now, okay, so now the other thing about the Yeti, I know there's a blue blue logo on one side and some controls, I think. Which way is all that facing? And there's a reason I'm asking this, and it's going back to Leticia's comment about people not connecting the mic or using the mic in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I'm speaking into the label. I'm speaking into the Yeti label. And that goes against all brand placement. I couldn't understand why Yeti put the label where people that were on your stream couldn't see it, only where you can see it. I think that's a problem for the Yeti label, but
I agree.
Yeah.
So so if you're using a Blue Yeti, and by the way, Tommy also says your Yeti is dialed in better than most he's heard.
Oh,
so
thanks.
So a couple of things. So, okay. So if you're going to position it, you put the label towards you, right?
Right.
So the label's towards you. Okay, great. Now so you've got the bean setting or the heart. Okay, great. And then you have headphones plugged into the Yeti or no?
No, they're just plugged in. So I have an iMac.
Okay, perfect.
And I also have the settings adjusted on my iMac in preferences.
Okay,
and
so
I have it dialed way down in preferences.
Okay, so if you go into system preferences and you go into, I think it's
sound.
Sound, yeah. Okay, so you go into sound. Okay, great. And then what else? What else?
And so then I have it. So of course my input mic is the Yeti I've selected, and then I've got it dialed way down. Like it's probably only 25%.
Okay.
There. And then I use the volume button on the Yeti to adjust that. So that's because I'm freestyling. I was really eager to come on and hear what you had to say about my Yeti, because really freestyling with it in terms of I was trying to figure out, because I'm trying to do a voiceover on some videos, and so I wanted to dial this Yeti in so it would work really well. And so when you guys said, "Hey, we'll test out your microphones," I was like, this is the perfect serendipity moment for me. So thank you very much.
And this is good, 'cause I want everyone who's watching to like take something away. Like in this case, like your Yeti sounds great. The other thing that really stands out to me is there's no background noise. I mean, it's like super quiet. It doesn't sound like you're in a room with like tile, for example, where the sound's bouncing all over the place. So that makes it easy to then listen to you. Like, so for example, if you're doing voiceover work, great for that. If you're going to be doing an interview with somebody, sounds fantastic. So
yeah, that's really interesting, because this room does have tile. It has porcelain tile floor. And on one whole wall is bookcases. The wall that I'm facing is bookcases. So lots of sound absorption there. And then you can see that I've got like dog show ribbons on the wall behind me. I don't know if they help a lot. This is a very small room. Like from in front of me, it's about 2.5 feet. And then behind me, maybe 7 feet. It's a tiny room.
But that's a good point though. So one point that you made is you're speaking into, you're 2.5 feet from the wall or something, right? So that's the thing. If you flipped it around what most people would probably be doing is they're now speaking into that open room, and then the sound is able to just kind of go all over the place. Versus because you now have it in a bit of a corner, or in this case, you're closer to the wall, it's able to absorb some of that sound, so it's creating that richer, warmer sound.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah, I think that really makes sense based on my situation. So I'm grateful to hear that it's not as an alive place, that the sound is really dead here. And I'm glad to hear that I've got the Yeti dialed in. Can you give me some feedback on the video? I think that I need to do something to improve my video. Yeah, I don't think it's very, oh, wow. And then the sun is coming in the window.
Yeah.
But, and I've got a light behind the monitor, but maybe, anyway, I think that I found out that I have a Nikon Z50 and I can live stream with that. So I think going forward, if you think I should switch it up, I'll switch to a better camera.
So here's the first question. And I'm interested to get the answer to this. So are you using the built-in mic on the iMac?
No, I'm using the Yeti.
No, so you've got the Yeti, but what, so for your camera? By the way, dogs, all animal. I will make a point there, like your dog's nails on the ground, so like that they are picking that up. So that's one thing. Like where, to that same point, like one other acoustic thing you could probably do would be if you put like a rug or a carpet down, is also like, because then that would also manage. I mean, I'm just offering advice. It would be the dogs, for example, moving around. What about the mic? Or sorry, what about the camera?
It's just the built-in iMac camera, and I don't feel like it's got enough clarity. I've already tested with the Z50, so I think I'm just gonna. If you think that's where I should go next, then I think I will.
I think the Z50 is a good option. I mean, the other option you have is if you have a smartphone, you can also use a smartphone as a webcam, and that's the smartphone cameras are fantastic.
Yeah.
So
and then
either option.
How do I connect? Wow, that really picks up the light. How do I connect my smartphone? I still want to run off the iMac.
You should be able to just connect it directly to the. So one of the tools we recommend is it's called Camo by Reincubate. Let me get the link to that actually for everyone. So I would recommend something like that. And I think that one, I'm trying to remember if that one's you install software on the computer, and then your phone has an app and they sync up.
Oh, good.
And so then that will allow you to use your camera, and the like latency and everything like that is, I mean, it's good. So,
okay, good.
I'll drop a link to that one in the comments, but that's really good. I think overall, like if you switch that, I think like, it would change the picture quality, but I will say the picture quality looks good to me right now, considering you have a built-in webcam that you're using. And a lot of people, when they use the webcams, like they don't look very good. And I think that's because there's not enough light. I think in your case, you got a lot of light, which is good.
Okay, good. That's really good feedback. So I have a question about StreamYard.
Sure.
And so I've done this, I've only done it once. And I told my guests, oh my God, we have to bail. And I bailed and then I restarted. And so then of course I had advertised the live stream on YouTube, right. And promoted it. And so I had a problem, but people seemed to find me again. So within 5 or 6 minutes, the comments were falling. But what I did was when I logged onto the stream, when I went live, I didn't click public. And so I couldn't read comments. There were no comments because it wasn't public. Do you know what I mean? When you come into the studio and you've booked, you sort of booked it when you've said that you're going to have this stream and it's going to be at this time and it syncs up with YouTube. It works really well. Actually, I really like it, but I didn't click public. And so then I didn't know what to do. I actually got out of the stream and called someone and they said, just go back in and click public. I didn't remember that part. So, can you tell me what I could do without leaving the stream? Is there a way to fix that, or do I have to go back out?
So, one thing you can do is you can add destinations. So this works so like if you've started it, for example, all you need to do is go into the destination in your broadcast. So you go into the broadcast and then click the pencil icon that's at the top, and there's going to be all your destinations. They're not going to be active, obviously. All you have to do is turn them on.
Okay.
So that's first thing. Now, the second thing also to keep in mind is
just a minute. Does that be the same YouTube link then? If people had joined me using one YouTube link, would it?
where were you broadcasting at? Oh, hold on. So let's take a step back, I guess. So if you didn't have any destinations connected, you can add them while you're going. Like, does that make sense? So
Yeah,
like if you've already, say you went on Facebook and you're like, oh, I forgot to put YouTube up, you can go add the YouTube destination and then start that there. So that would be first side. Now, what's the other question you had then, I guess, in regards to that? Was it in regards to, were you looking to, was your video already out on YouTube, but you made it unlisted or something? Is that the question?
No. Let me start over. My process was I went in a week ahead and I scheduled the broadcast, but I did not make it live, right? It's not live when you schedule it.
So when you set it up, you didn't select public. You selected like unlisted or private, correct?
Yeah, like not live. You have the
Yes.
Did you do record only, or did you? So record only would be in the StreamYard dashboard. It'll just be you. You can hit record, and it will be directly there.
No, I'll tell you the whole process. So I went in and I created the broadcast.
Okay.
But I did not choose public. I chose private. But it still went into my YouTube. And so then I went into YouTube under lives and I updated all the data. So this was a week ahead. So then I updated all the data. I added the thumbnail in YouTube. I put all my keywords and everything, but it also wasn't, it was public there. No. Public there because I wanted to advertise it, but the broadcast wasn't public. So then a week later, on the day of the event, went in an hour ahead of time. The guests joined me. We started to talk. We got ready to go. I went to broadcast. Do you want to click broadcast? And then if you're a brand new person, you need to click that twice. Right?
Because you start talking and
you need to click it twice. Just anybody that's brand new. So I was talking to my guests for 5 or 6 minutes. Things were going really well. And I thought there are absolutely no comments here. And I know there's people here. So I thought I did something wrong. So I bailed, went out, and then I actually restarted everything again. But
that happened to me one time. And I did the same thing like you. I hit private by accident. So on the top, like Christian said, there's an edit button. And when you click that, you could change it from private to public.
Yeah.
That happened to me one time a long time ago. Yeah.
Okay. So that's what my whole question is once I'm committed to this private thing and I'm live and I've been live for 5 or 6 minutes, can I then change it to public?
Yeah. I mean, I set that up a long time ago. I believe that feature is still available now.
Yeah, you should be able to go in and change that. And you should be able to do it. Like if it's on YouTube, you may have to go in and change the adjustment there, but it should adjust and make it public.
That's excellent. Because, when there's no comments, then you freak out a little.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Especially if you already scheduled out in advance. I know that was something that Facebook was doing. They put this inside the StreamYard community where we will set up, we'll set up our lives in advance. Let's say we're doing on YouTube, Periscope, whatever. And then when we stream on Facebook, it will be put as private, but on everywhere else it'll be public. So we do have to remember to go in and make sure that Facebook didn't default us, because they'll do that sometimes where I don't know if it's when they update or whatever. You want to make sure that you're streaming, because my assistant was telling me, Coach, you're not on live on Facebook. I'm like, what? I'm live here on YouTube and Periscope. I got to be live on Facebook at the same time. And really, I had to go into edit and change it to public. It was set as private.
That's a really good tip. Well, thank you. I think you guys answered all my questions.
Anytime. Awesome. And just, the other thing also I would say is you can always test these as well, just to, I want to empower you to believe in yourself and like test this stuff as well. So always happy to answer questions, but I also want to make sure that, like if we're like, hey, you know what, like be a tinker, like tinker with like, you're not going to break anything. So like do an unlisted YouTube channel or unlisted video, for example, and then go back in and try and change it and see if it actually changes it for you, or if you want to, like, you can always message me and I'm happy to jump on a test and we can see.
Yep, me too.
Work, so
Thank you. Well, my big
Awesome.
big workaround right now is when I'm going in and I'm going into the studio for the live and preparing just moments before my guest gets there, and not to go in too fast.
Yes.
Go in slowly, make sure everything's checked off.
Spelling errors are all like my thing is the spelling part. I'll go so fast and I misspell a word. Then I'll put the banner up. I'm like, oh shoot, I spelled that wrong.
Yeah, it's a really good. If anybody's hesitant about using StreamYard, get on that free site, get in there, build yourself some templates, and have at her. You can really have a lot of fun, and you can really connect with your community. There, we've been able to build some really strong communities, and really grateful for the StreamYard software.
Yes, same here.
And thanks again for coming on to test your mic. I mean, I love that, and again, test it out. See if I noticed you have a lot of light coming in, by the way. So. Another cheap little trick is they sell these reflector panels.
Yeah.
And so the car, so you can put the sunshade up in your car window, right?
Yeah.
They're essentially like that, but they're just they're round, they have small ones that do it. What I was gonna say was if you happen to have some of those, let's say your light is coming in from which direction right now?
The south.
So so if you want to light the other side, this is where you could maybe put one of those panels up where it's out of shot and collect some of that light and have it light the other side of your face, for example. So that's a way to help fill the room with some light as well. And it's a very simple. It's literally like it looks like it goes in your car window. They fold up usually into a little circle. You can unfurl them when you're ready. They have different. So there's ones that are like gold. There's some that are like white. There's some that are I think black. So various colors that can help direct the light. So
that's a great idea. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Happy Valentine's Day, people.
You as well.
Thanks.
Bye. That was awesome. Very awesome.
That was really good. Yes. Pretty dogs too.
Let me see. Got one question here real quick from Steve. From Steve Reichens, and then we've got Darren, I think, has a question or comment, I guess.
Yes.
So let's do this. Let's bring Darren on real quick.
Yep.
And I'm going to answer Steve's question real quick here as well. So says I'm having echo issues using an 8 to many with Windows 10 laptop. Okay, so I have an 8 to many. So what kinds of questions or issues are you having specifically? Let me know. And we can just talk through that, if it's something specific. There's a lot of, I have my 8 to many running into my computer, and then I have my audio is separate through a mixer. So I'm not running the audio into the ATEM. So I'm running them separate, but again, I'm also just streaming them. So that's something to maybe consider. I don't know how you have it set up, but just to let me know. And if you don't get on before we end up ending the session, just feel free to direct message me and I'll help. But okay, so let's bring on Darren. Darren says he's got a question or he wants to leave a comment. Hold on 1 second, real quick before I bring Darren in. So Steve says he's trying to play YouTube's videos while streaming.
Yeah. Ooh.
So the ATEM can't play YouTube videos. It's primarily just the switcher aspect. It can bring in, I know that it can bring in still images, but I think the only way you can make it play videos is through some workarounds, like maybe plug into another laptop and then bring that potentially in. There could be, I'm guessing there, if it were me, I would run it through the mixer and let the mixer handle everything.
Yeah.
But let me know about is the echo issue then coming from the YouTube video? Because then it sounds to me like, okay, do we have headphones plugged in? Is the mic open or something like that? But just let us know. Okay, so let's bring in Darren.
Hi, guys. Okay, so you're trying to play a YouTube video while streaming. Why wouldn't you just bring that up as a video share with audio? So if I wanted to play YouTube, which I do all the time, I just bring it up as a shared video with audio, put it in your stream, no problem. Okay, going to make this quick. Thanks for using my favorite word, serendipity, earlier. I love it. Mic budget. If you're spending a couple of $100 on a microphone, the thing to do is quick. Okay. This is the webcam thing. Okay. This Shure microphone.
Yes, let's talk.
This is an MV7. It's USB and XLR. With the USB, get to the XLR in the future, but that's a future mic. Costs a little more, but you're not going to replace that thing anytime in the near future. The choice for audio interface. This is the Audient Evo 4. It will automatically set your input levels for you. Most of you will make your mistakes there. If you have this, it will automatically set levels. You'll sound good. A lot of the other devices are just as good, but this one offers that particular ease, which makes it a better one for the use for the newbie. So that's the one I suggest for that. Webcams. IRIUN cam. It's also for Mac. It lets you use 4 cameras at a time. Old Android or iPhone units you got lying around, you know that's what I use.
That's a good suggestion. The Audient, by the way. Yeah, I like the Audient suggestion because the Audient 4 in US dollars, by the way, $129.
Good stuff and high quality.
Yeah.
Okay, SM58 is all I'm talking on now. I got rid of the expensive mic and I'm using a $100 microphone. I wanted you to hear it. So it's not about the microphone.
So what's that connected to though? So you got the 58. What are you connecting it to?
An audio interface. Now I would just say by the Evo, I have a Yamaha Steinberg 4-input piece of blah blah blah. It's that thing. No matter what it is, basically, just get a decent one. You're good. Sorry. Polar patterns. Your microphones you're going to buy will either be omnidirectional, means they're going to pick up everywhere, or something called cardioid or supercardioid. That's the shape of the heart. It's going to pick up better in one direction specifically. That's what you want to lock out others. If you have the round pattern, you're going to pick up everything. That's called omnidirectional, and typical mics will only have 2 patterns. Some have a figure 8 pattern where they pick up in 2, but that's getting technical. Just use supercardioid or cardioid mics, point them straight at. Always talk into the label. That's just a microphone standard. It's too bad they didn't think about it, but talk into the label. Test rent at the music stores. Microphones rent for dollars a day, $15 or $20 a week, so you can try it out. Shotgun mics are very good for this. Revolving credit, no, or don't. It's up to you. But I'm cheap, remember that. And I have revolving credit at the music store and have a $20 or $30 payment on some piece of equipment every month. And that's how I slowly get all my equipment. Now, it's not the smartest thing. If you have money, go ahead and buy if you want to buy. But if you don't, and you can only throw $10 or $20 at it a month, that's one way of doing it. That is it. That covers everything for me. Thank you so much for having me back.
Thank you.
Quick question, actually. So, okay, so the SM58, fantastic. So what's the other mic you use? The other one you were using earlier? Is it a Heil?
That's the Shure NT2A.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so you got that. And then also, I know some people in the comments have said the Samsung Q2U. I mean, that's like $100 mic. I think it's about $100. Again, USB and XLR as well. And can you talk about just real quick while Leticia's getting ready for the giveaway? By the way, so can you talk quickly about the USB and XLR options? Like, for example, why should somebody like if somebody goes buys USB? And let's say it's $100 mic, should they buy a $100 USB mic, or should they be looking for something that has that dual input USB and XLR, or should they try to jump to the XLR?
It depends on where your budget is starting. If you got the money to get an interface and an XLR only microphone and you want one, and you're going to be serious about this, like how serious, I don't know. You got to figure that out for yourself. But the XLR microphone will never be a bad investment. But when you have something like this, you really have the best of both worlds. The USB will get you started without having to buy that audio interface. And the XLR on this microphone is good, very good. It's like an SM7B, which is like a $400 microphone. This is so close to that. The one that you see Joe Rogan use in his podcast studio looks very similar to this. It's not the same, but it's so close. You're getting 98% of that microphone. There's no reason not to go ahead with something like this. And having that USB means you're starting today with good audio from a really reputable company that knows about microphone audio. And having that XLR there makes all the difference for the future. Now, the Samsung, I love Samsung. They're very inexpensive for what they provide and a very high quality product. That Samsung with the USB and XLR, and it has a way to plug in headphones too for zero latency, meaning no lag listening. Excellent product. No qualms about you starting out with something like that. It's about budget at that point. If it's $100 budget, Samsung. If it's a more of a budget and a look to the future, this Shure microphone, and then add an audio interface afterwards, and one that has automatic level setting is good for most of you. So Evo 4 and all that stuff is top notch, top notch. You sound as good as anybody with that equipment, but you've spent money. So budget first, stream, whichever budget you're in, start streaming now. And that's, yeah, absolutely. I'm tired of holding this microphone. I'll tell you right now, though.
Well, and that's where having a mic stand, for example, is a good investment in equipment, because then it's something that, like, you know, it's not going to be it's not going to be on your screen like this. It's not going to, it's going to need to be moved up and down and moved into the right places. Maybe raise it up each time and so forth. But it is going to help overall, because it's going to make it easier. Whatever you just changed, by the way, I picked up a lot of noise there.
Sorry about that.
So, but what I wanted to get at real quick with that is just the fact that with mics, I mean, you're going to want to test out different mics. And you're going to hear me say this all the time. Go to Guitar Center, check out the different mics that they have, and just think about the long-term investment as well. Like, if you're buying a mic and you're like, oh, I'm just doing live streaming, then don't forget, you can also use your mic for podcasting. You can also use it for video tutorials, online courses. So if you're like, hey, how do I monetize this? That's a good way to, like, to use it to build other things. So keep that in mind. But yeah, lots of options. I appreciate you coming on, Darren.
Thank you.
So there's a quick lesson to be learned there. As I switched back to this microphone, the levels on my sound unit were so much louder that when I did go back to this, Christian heard all my background noise. These things are so sensitive compared to a microphone like a dynamic one close to your mouth. That's kind of what you want. This isn't kind of what you want, honestly. Really, don't buy this. It's literally what I'm saying. Wrong microphone. I just happen to own it. Anyway, thanks. Been great.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Darren, as usual.
2 weeks.
Thank you.
Yes, 2 weeks. Awesome. This has been really good. I mean, so I know we're going to give something away here now. We're going to, and I know it's cold for a lot of people, so we're going to give away this. It's the StreamYard mug. And so just put hashtag love StreamYard, and Leticia's going to, we'll give you a couple minutes here, but do us a favor. So love StreamYard, and then she's going to pick a winner.
And all the people who put in our StreamYard, I already have your names in. So, okay, let me pick up.
And let me let you do that. And then let me just run through a couple of things real quick here.
Got it.
So for example, the next show for this show is going to be on, let me see, I think it's the 26th. Yeah. So I've got a couple of important dates because we're making a small tweak. So this is going to be, let's see. So on the StreamYard channel, so the first thing we're going to do is, if you want your YouTube channel reviewed, join us next Saturday. So basically, we're the same time this was next week. We're going to do this once a month, YouTube channel reviews, where you're able to come on and we'll have a couple of people reviewing your YouTube channel, making recommendations on, channel art, maybe the channel name, how you can set up that front, basically the storefront for your YouTube channel. And I don't mean storefront as in like buying things. I mean the storefront as in what's the first impression people get when they see your YouTube channel. What links are you sending them to and all that sort of stuff. Because I bet a bunch of you are probably saying, hey, go connect on my social media channels. Well, if you don't have a lot of subscribers and you're driving them off to social media, not exactly the best thing. But I've got some great people that will that will be helping for that. In addition to that, this show is going to be, so the next episode of live stream reviews is going to be the 26th of February at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be in 2 weeks, and it's going to be Leticia and myself as usual. And we want you to bring your questions. And I really liked what we did today, where we had Karen came on, for example, and she talked about, like, she shared her microphone, and we were able to sort of dissect that microphone while helping her improve that, learn more about her environment. And we also had we had some other individuals come on as well, and we were also able to offer them some sound panel recommendations. So thanks a lot to all of our viewers who made some fantastic recommendations. So Leticia, are you ready, or do you need some time?
One more name I'm going to add.
Okay, cool. Very cool.
And I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to get started.
Yeah. So what tool are you using, by the way, to share your screen?
I'm using Wheel of Names.
Okay, Wheel of Names. Yeah. And we'll show you how this works here. And again, this is where if you're running a live stream, you have to remember, we talked about this at the beginning, right, Leticia, about,
Yes, we did.
Not adding distractions. So for example, it's easy to run a giveaway if you got 2 people and, hey, we've talked beforehand, we know exactly how this works. This is what, the 7th episode? Yeah.
Yep.
So, we know all about that. So, but if you're just doing this yourself, adding a giveaway is another step you're going to have to figure out.
Mhm.
So just keep that sort of thing in mind. But let's do this. Let's go ahead and share Leticia's screen here and let her do a Wheel of Names. Remember, the winner's going to get a StreamYard mug, and I'll have you private message me that information as well afterwards.
All
Whenever
right.
you're ready, Leticia.
I can spin. Spinning now. Ooh.
Wish I could zoom in on this. Hopefully it tells me who the winner is.
Joey.
Joey. Fantastic. Congratulations, Joey. So
That was fun.
Joey, do me a favor, send me a private message. Send me a private message, and we'll get that shipped out to you.
Woo! That was good.
Awesome. This was very good. Yes. And as you could see, that was super easy to do during a broadcast. I know we have a tool as well that we use at StreamYard. It's one that our co-founder built specifically. So we haven't quite figured out how you can package that up and put it into the product. We get the question all the time. We talk about it on the town hall a lot, but Joey, congratulations. Do me a favor, message me. We'll go get your StreamYard mug sent out to you.
Yes.
So what's that? Anything else you want to add, Leticia? I mean, this has been a fantastic show.
This was an amazing
communication.
show. Yeah, going back to what we said starting the show, distraction, or it is something that is going to be an addition. And again, that's a constant battle every day, trying to perfect your shows. But again, content, just like I think Joey mentioned this, I'm not sure. Content is king and sound is queen. If we live by those rules and then build on that, you're all good.
Definitely. And Creative Lady, by the way, real quick, this was what? Wheel of Names, right, Leticia?
Wheel of Names, yes. It's free to use.
Perfect. Let me get the link to that real quick. So it's realofnames.com.
Yep.
You want to do that. Remember, you are going to have to enter the names manually. So if you have a producer, maybe you've got a teenager, somebody around your house, you want to have them maybe help you with your production. It's a great way to, also maybe invite them to help out. So this is what we use for the drawing. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Remember, join if you want your YouTube channel reviewed. Join next Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on youtube.com/StreamYard, and then in 2 weeks, so February 26th, be sure you join us again for another live stream reviews. And again, I want to encourage you to join us on the live stream. I mean, as you can see, it's a lot of fun. I mean, I enjoy helping people answering these questions that you have. So feel free to join us in 2 weeks, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. But with that, I want to thank everyone for watching, and have a great weekend. Have a happy Valentine's Day, and keep live streaming. Thanks, everyone.